no representation is made that the quality of legal services are greater than the legal services of other lawyers. You found the Heart of Dixie podcast. I'm Harry Steele. I'm a retired attorney down in Baldwin County, Alabama. I'm joined today by my co-host, Brandon Moseley, reporter and content manager at the Alabama Gazette. How are you, Brandon?
I'm doing fine, Harry. How are you?
I'm good. And we have two special guests with us today. Neeli Faulkner of Murder Creek Media and Whitney Scapecchi, also of Murder Creek Media and other
things.
and other endeavors. How about we put it that way? How are you guys today?
Good.
It depends on how this goes.
Well, you never know. So can you tell us a little bit about Murder Creek Media, what you guys do?
Murder Creek Media actually started kind of as a passion project. I had investigated a case independently for a podcast, a true crime investigative podcast several years ago. Back in the investigation actually started in 2017, and I released the first rendition of that podcast in 2019. And it kind of grew. You know, people would ask me all the time, you know, how can I help? And I said, well, it's really just me, but, you know, let me see where this goes. And so I formed Murder Creek Media, and I started taking on volunteers who wanted to help investigate different cases. So public corruption and public accountability is not necessarily my forte. That's really Whitney's forte. If you ask me to solve a homicide, I can probably be your girl, but the rest of the stuff, not so much. But public accountability, of course, has a lot to do with the cases that we cover, because, you know, these are systems and processes that affect these cases, whether they're unsolved homicides or cold cases or potential wrongful convictions. Mm-hmm. So
what if we just don't do any investigation at the time of death, and there is no evidence?
Well, so, I mean, that's a good question, right? Because a lot of these cases that we do take on, there's a reason that they become cold cases or they're unsolved, because there's little evidence to go on. And so because we are not law enforcement agents, we're not attorneys, we're not, you know, the Innocence Project or anything like that. Sometimes witnesses are willing to speak with us more so than, you know, members of other agencies. And so we actually have had some success in some of the cases that we've worked, that we have either discovered new evidence long after the fact, or we have had many witnesses recant their testimony in cases that there was no physical evidence. So we're kind of the real deal, right? I think a lot of people don't realize that we've got some cool things happening behind the scenes, and we just happen to have kind of walked into this that's happening in Orange Beach, because, I mean, obviously I live here. Several of our volunteers are local to the area, but it has to do with bigger investigations of other things that we had been looking at. So that's really the story of Murder Creek Media in a nutshell.
I gotcha. And then Whitney said, hold my beer, and ran for school board. That was interesting to watch.
Yeah, it's still, you know, my election contest is still ongoing. I had a big conference call yesterday with, I don't even know how many people were on the call, maybe 20, 30 people. We have a lot of people invested across the country at this point. It's one thing I don't talk to Neeli a lot about. And for someone I talk to every single day, it's just like, it's another project going on. But, you know, that's, in a nutshell, the issue that led me to running for school board is actually how Neeli and I first entered each other's orbit. We were in our own right, in our own districts, just pissed off moms who knew that there was some stuff going on within our school systems that was not on the up and up. And we kind of, our paths kept overlapping. We were not close. We didn't talk much. And I had shared her very well worded recap about Tony Kennon and Jeff Boyd and the mayor's race last year. It sparked a little bit of tension between me and what I would consider my partner at the time, Wendy Pickering. over some land deals. Wendy was kind of my right hand, and as I was hers in exposing these land deals involved with the school board and beyond. But me and Neely just kind of keep entering each other's orbit. And so it was actually the Brittany Wood case that I think kind of bonded us for the foreseeable future. Neely and I work super well together. The Brittany Wood case brought us together, but where I enter into the Tony Kennon story, I think it's important for viewers maybe to understand, because some people think I like to just, I'm maybe a grifter. I don't know what they call me. I don't really care. But a lot of what I was exposing with land deals, all these different things going on in the part of the county north of the Beach Bridge, roads kept leading back to Orange Beach. And so Neely and I talk on a daily basis in other work that we do. And that's kind of how we're here today. I guess Neely would be the best way to say it. So
yeah, we have so many irons in the fire, Harry, and we have so many different things. A lot of people may know this, but I have a child with a disability. And so I started being very vocal about issues in Orange Beach because of my daughter during the time in which the school split. When Orange Beach became its own city school and split from Baldwin County, there were obviously issues that were continuously ongoing.
A total shock to John Gray, who was being paid $12,000 a month to be our political consultant, right?
It was only about 9,000. We'll be accurate on the total. He tried for a $12,000 raise, but it didn't happen. But go ahead.
But that's kind of how I came into the picture. And so when Whitney separately in Alberta was having an issue and approached the school board, it was actually a mutual friend of ours who asked Whitney, hey, have you ever heard of Neeli? She's essentially doing the same thing that you're doing with the schools in Orange Beach, but nobody's listening to her, right? This has been ongoing for about 7 or 8 years now. And that's how Whitney and I kind of came together. Well, Whitney and I both are, very data oriented. We like to get to the bottom of things, just naturally ask a lot of questions. And so that's kind of how we came together. And like you said, we had the commonality of the Brittany Wood case that some information had come across our desk. We approached the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office with this new information. It was a great lead. So far, it hasn't panned out to anything, but, it was a big ordeal. And as we started looking at the Brittany Wood case and some of the players that were involved, then you get these land purchases that are over here, and then you get school purchases that are here, and all these players are just kind of walking around in this same arena, and they're
stacking up.
Yeah, they're stacking up like it never fails.
It's the same old characters over and over again. Funny, isn't
yes. But I'm glad that you brought up the article, Whitney. And Harry, I forgot to tell you this prior to, but during the Orange Beach mayoral election, I wrote an article called Behind the Orange Beach Mayoral Debate, Truth, Power, and the Fight for Accountability, because I attended the Orange Beach mayoral debate between Tony Kennon and Jeff Boyd, who at the time was, Jeff Boyd was the council member for Place One. And I just did a recap of the debate itself, what each candidate said. And there were some things that were referenced in the debate that needed a lot of background information. And so one of the things that became, I guess, kind of controversial was what was discussed regarding the retirement of Chief Steve Brown and the Labor Day incident, which has become known as the Coastal Resources incident.
You don't say.
And unbeknownst to a lot of people, I had actually, prior to this debate, I had completed a FOIA request with the Bartow County Sheriff's Office because a woman on TikTok had made several videos about a man that had been convicted of possessing child pornography. He pled guilty to this. His name was Josh Stapleton. He was very well known in the Gulf Coast region because he and his wife Brittany had, I guess now currently have over 100,000 followers on TikTok, and we're just going around to different
the moving
places
to Orange
in the area.
The moving to Orange Beach couple come
Yes.
trip the fabulous life in Orange Beach. I've seen their videos. Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
the creator that shared this initial information had mentioned the name Orange Beach Mayor Tony Kennon in these exchanges between Josh Stapleton and Brittany Stapleton. And so I filed a FOIA and got the full FOIA of all the communications between Josh and Brittany Stapleton for, I think it was like a 60-day period, which was prior
Jail
to
logs.
the
Yeah.
jail logs prior to the election. And it was very interesting because, again, this TikToker did not know the context of what she was saying, but I knew the context. And some of the people that were mentioned in these jail calls, there's some of the same players that show up in some of these deals, and they show up in the Brittany Wood case. And it was just very interesting to see. Well, I felt like that was relevant context to what they were talking about with the Steve Brown incident, because basically Jeff Boyd was trying to say that Tony Kennon had some type of influence over the police department, and
No.
a portion of these jail calls between Josh and Brittany Stapleton and or a couple that lives here locally and Josh Stapleton did seem to suggest that there was that relationship that Kennon had with the police department. So it was damaging probably, but it was factual information and it was relevant to what was being discussed in regards to Steve Brown. So that article really, it caused a firestorm, and it kind of leads into this stuff about Wendy Pickering and what is going on now, because obviously Wendy was not happy with the article, and she and Whitney had some dissension over it, where they, removed it from this group. And anyway, that's kind of a little bit of the backstory. I would encourage readers, if this article is still up, it has not been edited, it is not being changed, because it is 100% factual information. You're welcome to go view it. And I'll send this to you, Harry. I don't know if you want to link it or not, but it has a lot of the background for some of these things that you're going to discuss, as far as like the coastal resources building and some of the dissension between council members, not just Jeff Boyd, but other council members. There's a lot of background information in here. It's a long article, but well worth the read.
And I just want to point out that while you read an article about it, and I'm sure you were, I don't remember seeing you there. I was there. Brandon didn't go. I had somebody else helping me in the parking lot, and we handed out 200 T-shirts that said, let's see if I got to. So it's got it's got our cool ass logo right on the back, and then on the front. Yeah, it's a medium, so I wasn't going to try to stretch it on for the podcast today. But yes, one relic survives. And then, of course, we'll fly all the way back to the beginning, and you'll see that, so I bought this motorcycle for my 50th birthday gift to myself. And I laid it down about 30 minutes after I got it, and I was like, I probably ought to sell this thing before it gets torn up too bad. And I was like, you know what? I think I'll offer it as a reward for anyone who has any information about the death of Danny Williams, right? So anyway, we'll get back to that in a little while. So, Brandon, this was in the Alabama Gazette, and I think there are some details that we need to iron out that, let me start with this article by Grant McCullough, McLaughlin. How the hell did I say his name?
McLaughlin.
Okay, well, hang in there for a sec, guys. Internal city reactions surrounding a Labor Day 2024 domestic violence call and investigation at the Coastal Resource Building in Orange Beach has been revealed in an ethics complaint filed last month against Mayor Tony Kennon by 3 council members. The complaint details how weeks after council members were shown body camera footage in which Kennon is seen speaking through a cracked door with officers around 1 a.m. on September 2nd, 2024, about a domestic violence call. He threatened his fellow elected officials during an April 21st executive session for contemplating a public release of the video. Quote, the mayor directed personal remarks towards members of the council, including statements instructing a council member to stop playing attorney, and referred to another member as a feeble old man. Reading the complaint filed on May 1st, which was obtained by Lanyap. reads the complaint. The mayor stopped just short of making a physical threat against Councilman Robert Stewart when he said, "If you weren't such a feeble old man, I'd." All right. I think that's a threat. Isn't that a threat?
It sounds like
This
one to
is-
me. I
this
would
is-
feel
So I think that's
threatened.
what we call a veil threat. Of course, I'm not the district attorney or attorney general doing backflips trying to say none of these people ever do anything wrong either. Councilmember Jeff Silvers, Ginger Harrelson, and Stewart then formally asked the Alabama Ethics Commission to investigate Kennon for trying to influence the potential release of public records, interfering with legislative items, and sitting in on meetings about a lawsuit that he is personally involved in. Public officials are entrusted to act with integrity and partiality and in the best interest of the public they serve, the complaint reads. The conduct outlined above raises substantial questions as to whether those standards have been met. I mean, right
Lord.
here, I mean, interfering with their legislative decision making, bullying people. Other
So I'll
findings.
let you know this, Harry, in case you are not aware of this. The Lanyap did report on this, but so did Murder Creek Media, because we have actually had a copy of this complaint for a period of time. We did not release it for source safety. Okay. So it was really, I was glad to see it come out because, you know, I think a lot of citizens were unaware of what was happening in the background, and they just look at it as if it's social media drama. But there's much more teeth to it than that. And,
Okay, well,
you know,
so
council
let's
members have been.
so let's
Go ahead.
get. I agree with you, and this is the important part that we're going to get into next. Other findings reported in the complaint that were not previously revealed. The city administrator and clerk were both informed about the incident after it occurred days after it occurred at the municipal building. A city investigation into the incident was started but never completed. No one ever asked if the Coastal Resources building had video footage of the incident. Police call reports typically provided to council members never reflected the 911 call at the Coastal Resources building. So what does that tell you? He has total control over the police department, not the council, and certainly not control over the clerk or this this alleged city administrator. Have y'all met him? He's like 32, something like that. I mean, I was a 32-year-old manager, but you know, I don't know that he's special like me. Let's see. Recap of Labor Day 911 call. Lanyap first broke the story last July of the 911 call at the Coastal Resources building in the early hours of Labor Day 2024. A Lanyap reporter was able to view the body cam footage and later obtain an audio recording from the video in which an employee at a nearby bar reported seeing a butt-naked man on the balcony of the Coastal Resources building hitting and screaming a woman, saying, "You're never going to run out on me. Don't you run out on me." After police arrived, they found Kennon inside what he said was his second office. He also said his wife, Paula, was with him and that she could speak with officers. She never did. The ethics complaint further verifies that reporting as city councilors who viewed the video described what they saw. During the exchange, the mayor also stated, "This is our getaway on the weekends. We got no other place," the complaint reads. It also states that Orange Beach Police Department investigator Lisa Johnson, does everybody know Lisa Ponytail? She's been involved in the drug task force and the major crimes unit. She's the one, they put her in all the pictures to show there's a woman involved.
And she just got a promotion, am I right?
Oh, I'm sure she did.
No, you're thinking of somebody different. Whitney.
During the
Gotcha.
exchange,
Okay.
the mayor also stated that, let's see here, let's see. Lisa Johnson later called Paula Kennon to check in on her, but the police investigation into the incident was never completed and Paula never was officially interviewed. The officers ultimately left the scene without making direct contact with the alleged victim or visually confirming her condition. And I will say this, boys and girls, or her identity. I don't think this was the mayor's wife here with them. She never spoke to anyone, and any reporting that she called 911 from inside the office is the first I've heard of that. So the only 911
Well-
call I'm aware of is the 911 call that the barmaid made to the cops when they saw him whooping her on the balcony.
There is reporting that the Orange Beach Police Department official report is that Paula made a 911 call and said that she was locked in a room and Tony wouldn't let her out and was screaming at her. Though
Okay.
the officers never actually went in to make sure she was okay, if that was what actually happened.
And
Again,
I'm saying I've
Not
never heard
saying
that.
The Tiki Bar people did not make their own 911 call, but the police report doesn't mention that one.
Well, I think that I've only seen one publication make that claim that Paula made a call from within the building prior to the witness contacting, after seeing on the balcony. And in my personal opinion, I do not think that is factual reporting. I don't know where they have gotten that information, but I have only seen one publication put that out. To my knowledge, and from what I've seen, that is not the case. So I certainly can't speak on that. What I can speak on is that I did interview the witness directly, and the information that she gave regarding that call was essentially exactly what you read, Harry. The only thing I thought was significant, I guess, that I had not seen in previous reporting is she described a female in the building, described what she was wearing, and stated that she had blonde hair high up in a ponytail, said that she saw her walk out, that Tony, or who she believes is Tony Kennon, turned around and grabbed her with his left hand by the hair, and what she described as started wailing on her. The witness claimed that he hit her 3 times, and by the 3rd time, she watched her body go completely limp. So something that viewers should understand is that when I spoke to the witness, I was one of only 2 agencies that had reached out to her to ask her for clarification about what she saw that night. The first person was the Lanyap, and then the second one was me. So she, by her statement, had not been interviewed by anyone else prior to me contacting her, probably about a month ago. So in my opinion, that was a little suspect, right? Because why would you not talk to if you were doing an internal investigation, why wouldn't you speak to the witness again? The second thing I want to note too is that when I am looking at the report and I see that Lisa, investigator Lisa, contacts the victim, we need to commend that officer for doing that, because the other officers in this situation did not do their due diligence. And it appeared to me that Lisa was attempting to do her due diligence despite who she was going up against, right? So I just want to make that known that she really, in my opinion, does not deserve to be placed in a bad light, because she was trying to follow up. Now, if you have a victim that you follow up with, or an alleged victim, and they say that nothing happened, well, you've kind of done what you can at that point, right? It was really on the initial officers to do what they should be doing. And what Whitney had said, it was not Lisa that had been promoted in reference to this. It was a different female officer that is heard on the body cam footage identifying Tony Kennon as the person inside the building. That officer has since been promoted.
Okay, so check this out. I don't know if y'all were watching, but we were looking at Google Earth. The Coastal Resources building is built right there, right now. And so this shows you how close it is from here to there, for the eyewitness to have, and surely she knows who the mayor is, right? I'm sure he wanders over here to the Tiki Bar from time to time if this is their weekend getaway.
Well, so to her, for what she stated, she had been a bartender for many years, and she worked at the restaurant. She was there late one night. It was dark, we're talking 1 a.m, and she leaves and she witnesses this, and she can give a general description, but maybe didn't see them well enough to identify who they were. And it actually wasn't until almost a year later after this incident when the witness started seeing some talk about this online that she realized that the person that she had called 911 on was the mayor. Because once she gave her statement to the responding officers, she left. So she didn't stick around in time for them to really come and explain anything, according to her interview with me. So I don't know how far she was. I haven't actually looked.
Well, and Neely, I don't know if Brandon or Harry picked up on this, but something really significant when you talk to that witness that kind of, I think I even messaged you back and I was like, hang on a second, has this been reported on yet? Is the fact that when she initially, and I will say too, her story has stayed the same. The only thing is when she spoke to you, something that wasn't made clear in any initial reporting was the fact that the victim, in her perspective, was knocked out cold. That is not something that we didn't learn that until you spoke to her. At least I did not gather that from reporting.
Well, correct. The comment of her body going completely limp.
Yeah.
Yes. So whether she was, unconscious or not, I don't know. But the witness did tell me that she went complete, that she saw her go completely limp, and that she picked up the phone and called 911. And so, we as citizens, responsible, I don't like to use the term responsible citizens at times because it implies that other citizens are irresponsible. I'm not saying that, but for someone who is not well versed about government operations or city properties, or how these things operate, then, she may not have realized that this was an employee at the building. I mean, I can't speak to what she was thinking, but whether she realized it was the mayor or not, would have, in my opinion, really have been irrelevant. But she did tell me that she did not realize that it was the mayor until long after the fact.
Okay, so let's continue this. Upon information,
there's a point here that we went over that we need to come back to. If there's a police cover-up, and we don't know that there is, it's interesting that the police report doesn't talk about the woman across the street at the Tiki Bar at all. It comes up with this Paula Kennon called 911 and ignores what the eyewitnesses saw. That's not in the report.
Okay, so
that's why I don't think that reporting is accurate.
I don't either. And it says, upon information and belief, the underlying domestic violence incident has never been investigated other than, number one, the officer's initial response shown in the body cam footage, and number two, when Lieutenant Lisa Johnson reached out 2 or 3 days later via telephone to Paula Kennon. So nobody talked to Paula Kennon until 2 or 3 days later. Subsequent news stories also reported the city of Orange Beach had launched an investigation into the incident, and Kennon had been using the Coastal Resource building as his personal office space, whereas other city officials reported seldom using it. The complaint claims the investigation was not completed. Threatening council members. According to the complaint, council members floated the idea of releasing the body cam footage of the incident, hoping to possibly save the city money in a federal lawsuit that was filed by a local attorney seeking its release. It was filed after a second request for the footage was denied. During this discussion, the mayor became visibly upset and raised his voice towards members of the council. The complaint reads, the mayor stated the body camera footage would not be released because he would not allow his wife and family to be embarrassed. After the meeting, Harrelson discussed the idea of the council adopting a resolution to hire an independent attorney because of Kennon's alleged conflict of interest, according to the complaint. The mayor, as the executive of the city, has a personal interest in the matter related to the underlying incident and potential release of the footage, the complaint reads. The city, as the legislative body, was responsible for making decisions regarding litigation strategy and related policy matters. Harrelson then wrote a resolution for the council to retain its own legal counsel on April 7th at the April 7th meeting. However, City Attorney Jamie Logan Ask her to remove the item before the meeting so Logan could make sure the council had the power to do it. Logan never provided an answer to the complaint claims, which is another issue. She's another one of these people like Chief Brown that works for the mayor. She doesn't work for the people of Orange Beach. She didn't even get back with the Of course they can hire another attorney if this one has a conflict. They can appropriate money for whatever the hell they want to. During the April 7th meeting, Logan told council members they did not need to discuss the lawsuit with the attorney who filed suit because there had been no new information. However, a week later, attorneys representing the city filed motions in the lawsuit and council members were not informed. So who does it sound like Jamie Logan's working for? Sure shit ain't the people or the council members. They're working for Kennon, just like this police chief that got run out of town.
Well, let me interrupt you there real quick, Harry, about Jamie Logan, because there's an exchange between myself and Jamie Logan that I think is relevant concerning a relationship here, and how this litigation is being handled. So there was a recent town hall meeting to address the Pirates Voyage dinner theater, in which many other topics were discussed, not just the Pirates Voyage, but transactions with the city and all this. And so during the public comment portion, I asked 3 questions to the mayor, all of which he refused to answer, and directed me to City Attorney Jamie Logan, which I did follow up with her on May the 23rd. So the questions that I asked, the first one, generally speaking, when litigation involves a public records dispute against the city, does the city council have the authority to vote to release records in order to reduce additional taxpayer-funded legal expenses, or is that decision solely controlled by the administration or legal department? So she responded to that question 5 days later by saying, your first question involving the authority to take action related to a pending litigation is an excellent question, but not one that I'm able to answer while litigation is pending, as any discussion which could impact the litigation must remain confidential. Okay. So she refused to answer the question. My second question, over the past 12 months,
I can answer that question. The council makes that decision. The administrators give the information to the council, and they legislatively make the decision. So it's a bank shot. Easy. Go ahead.
All right. Second question. Over the past 12 months, approximately how much taxpayer money has the city spent on outside legal counsel or legal defense costs related to pending litigation involving the city? Her answer to that says, regarding your second question, the city is insured by AMIC, Alabama Municipal Insurance Corporation, and all costs of defense are covered under our policy with AMIC unless less a deductible. I have CC'd our city clerk who would have the information regarding the deductible amount. The city clerk, Renee Eberly, responded by saying the city's deductible for public officials' liability claims is $5,000. So that leads me to believe that on all pending litigation over the last 12 months, because I want viewers to understand that the lawsuits that have come from CC Moreno are not the only pending litigation with the city. There are several other cases that are currently pending before the city. And so I took this answer to be the city has not actually paid out much of anything less a $5,000 deductible. Okay. My third question, without discussing litigation strategy or case specifics, can you provide a general estimate regarding how long current litigation matters are expected to remain active and what level of additional taxpayer-funded legal expenses may be reasonably anticipated? And her answer was, timelines for litigation vary and cannot be accurately estimated as facts and strategies may be ever-changing. Here's the reason that I want to mention this. If you go to the city's website, orangebeachal.gov, and you review past council minutes, and you look at the check registers over the last 12 months, there are line items to different firms for legal fees. More than $5,000. So I guess my follow-up question should be, what are we paying outside counsel for if not for pending litigation, right? Do you see where I'm asking this? Can you answer this question as a retired attorney here? Why would someone?
So look, they got Jamie there to call balls and strikes during the day. If they get, she's a JAG officer. She doesn't know anything. She spent all this year as a, prosecuting people for the military who, can you think of anything more fish in a barrel? So anyway, whenever there's a complicated civil question about real estate or whatever, I would imagine that they pick up the phone and call somebody at Bradley or, God knows who. They're somebody that actually knows something that can answer a question. But the day-to-day stuff, she ought to be able to handle that. But whenever it comes to a complicated, like a review of like this Dolly Parton proposal, I mean, we're talking all kinds of environmental regulations that have to be complied with. Is the city going to put in the access road like they did at the wharf and maintain it in perpetuity? I mean, just what kind of a public-private partnership is this? Is it one like Mr. McInnes got over at Romar Beach? You understand what I'm saying?
Neeli, I know whenever you were looking into this, I cannot remember the figure, and maybe you don't have it in front of you, but I agree with Harry that, you might consult with other legal firms for various reasons, is what Harry has said. But what total are we talking about? And did you find payments to AMIC in the amount of $5,000, which would be a deductible?
I don't have the information in front of me. I'd have to go pull it because I was hesitant to give a number because I'm having to manually go through and look at all of these for the past 12 months from the period of time in which I requested this, which, is about 2 months ago. So I don't know. I can't give you an answer right this second.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give y'all an answer that's very telling, and this is the conclusion of the article. Other issues in the complaint. Aside from threatening members of the Orange Beach City Council, the ethics complaint also alleges certain senior city officials knew about the incident involving Kennon days after it occurred, while the city council was left in the dark until the Lanyap broke the story during the 2025 election cycle. According to the complaint, City Administrator Ford Hanley and his wife, City Clerk Renee Eberly, did you know they were married, knew about the Coastal Resources Building incident about a day after it occurred. Logan claims to have been made aware of it in April or May of 2025 when reviewing employee surveys within the police department related to the performance of the then chief of police. In July 2025, the city announced it would investigate the incident, but the complaint claims 2 people hired to look into the issue never completed their work. Logan later concluded that police investigations were never finished as part of a broader issue with police training. Police Chief Steve Brown later announced his retirement. Yeah. So that brings us to the next question. Why did these other 2 council members not sign on to the ethics complaint? Do y'all have any opinion on that? I mean, besides what's in the article here? Of the council members who signed the complaint,
an opinion.
Ginger Harrelson, Jeff Silvers, and Robert Stewart, only 2 responded to the questions about Robertson's decision, saying he told them in late April his only interest was in keeping the peace between the council, mayor, and his administrators. You see what I mean? They only get information that Kennon tells them it's okay to give to the council. And that's not how any of this is supposed to work. And this is what happens when you get a 4th-term mayor. Let's see, what else does it say? The other councilman whose name was absent from the complaint is Jerry Johnson, who resigned from the Orange Beach Council on June 2nd. When that happened, I knew some S was about to hit the fan because I've known Jerry and his wife for a long time. I've known Yo for 35, 40 years. Harrelson told Johnson had been dealing with the situation for some time and was not present during meetings when counselors claimed Kennon blocked the release of body cam footage and then later threatened other members. I don't think there's any question about that, is there? According to the complaint, the city council was shown the body camera footage of Kennon during an April 1st executive session after members floated the idea of releasing the tapes because of the ongoing federal lawsuit with local attorney C.C. Dixon Marino. So does anybody know about her little, her lawsuit? Are y'all aware of all that?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, Dixon
Yeah,
Well,
Marino.
can we back up for a second before
Yeah,
we
go
do that?
ahead.
Because when you asked why the other council members did not participate in the ethics complaint, so after I published an article about the ethics complaint, there were a lot of questions to me about why Jack did not, specifically Jack, right? Because he had seen the footage. And so I asked him for comment as to why he didn't. And his response was interesting, to say the least, because he essentially said, I won't say if I was asked to join the complaint, but I'll explain why I didn't go along with it. And essentially what he says is exactly that, of that he just thinks more division is not helping. So what he never says that these things in the complaint are not true. He never says that. What he said was he just does not want there to be any division. And so I followed up with a question of, did the fact that your spouse is employed with the city have anything to do with you not participating? And he vehemently denied that it had anything to do with it. But again, I felt it's relevant because you have to understand that, what did we hear at the council meeting all night last night? My employees, referring to Tony Kennon, you have to understand that council members would the other council members have already put themselves in the line of fire. So it would have been no small feat for, Jack to put himself in. Also, he would have been in the line of fire, and there obviously would have been repercussions, because there have been for other council members. So I can speculate based on it. I can tell you what he said, which I published an article on what he said in his response. But I feel personally that if what is in the complaint is true, as the other council members allege, that Jack had a duty to report this as well as the other council members, and he failed to do so. That's my personal opinion.
Fair enough. So, have y'all seen who gets baited into a debate on Facebook? Does anybody? Whitney does, but I don't.
If it's worth it. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Anyway,
Sometimes I have to talk her down off the ledge.
so the Dolly Parton dinner theater land stuff we're not ready to talk about just yet. So we'll move on from that.
Not necessarily in depth, but here's what I will say is that during the town hall, and CC Moreno had posted a clip of this that was taken from a recording that WFUZ TV still has available, because, the town hall recording from the city has since been deleted. But luckily WFUZ TV was there, recorded a copy, and it's, to my knowledge, one of the only remaining copies. And CC Moreno took a portion of this in which a citizen asked a question to the council members and to Mayor Kennon to say, essentially, do any of you have any type of relationship with anyone involved in this deal? All of which answered no. Well, at the time, no one knew who the buyer was. And it wasn't until, no one, as in residents, did not know who the buyer was. But obviously, Kennon did know who the buyer was. And he said that he had no relationship with these people at this town hall meeting. I'm sorry. I think that is of significance, that he knew who this person was and failed to disclose that in a public meeting that has now been deleted.
Well, and it's worth noting, how many weeks was that publicly recorded meeting available, and it was not essentially scrubbed from the interweb until it was ousted about the relationship that Kennon and Jack Robertson had with the actual buyer.
And was that McInnes?
Yes.
I thought.
Well, it's at least that's who they publicly identified at the special called meeting. Yes. So whether
there is
were
an
other
internal
partners,
email. There is an internal email that exists. Neely, I know you were copied on it. We've been getting stuff emailed for weeks, and it kind of gets buried. But we do have a copy of an internal email where Neely, what's that phrase that they like to use in these real
an
estate
option
transactions?
to buy.
Well,
An
but
option to
yes, but time is of the essence. But it was communications between McInnes and I guess it would be the city council directly, with the mayor copied as well, where he did it. I mean, to me, if the document can be verified, I think from the source that we obtained it from, I would say that this is a legitimate email. McInnes identified himself, and from the correspondence, the council, or at least the mayor, was aware at that moment that McInnes was the actual buyer.
So another example of not the council, it's Mayor
The local
Kennon's
attorney
in
is facing
charge.
assault
Just
charges after police in Bay Minette say he attacked a city
enjoy.
council member. Harry Still was booked and has since bonded out of jail.
All right, our Shelby Myers in the studio. You've been digging into this one, Shelby. What is the new information you have?
Well, Lenise and Cameron, Bay Minette's Police Chief Al Tolbert references Harry Still as having a history of aggressive behavior toward elected officials. Tonight, the City of Orange Beach spokesperson tells me Still was behind a citywide building lockdown 2 months ago. Harry Still is on the other
where was this?
A lockdown in Orange Beach. What?
side of the law tonight. The local defense and civil attorney is facing an assault charge. According to Bay Minette Police Chief Al Tolbert, Still attacked Councilman Matt Franklin Wednesday morning. Bay Minette Mayor Bob Wills tells me Still entered a private business in Courthouse Square and started to get argumentative and loud. Franklin asked him to leave, and that's when Wills says Still threw Franklin on the ground and started kicking him. Wills tells me Franklin went to the hospital and was released with scrapes and bruises. Chief Tolbert says Still has a, quote, documented history of aggressive behavior targeting elected officials,
Especially dirty
including
ones.
making unfounded allegations of conspiracy and filing meritless lawsuits.
I'd love to see
end
one.
quote. And tonight,
meritless
according
lawsuit.
to Orange Beach City Administrator Ford Hanley, Still is allegedly behind a July 1st lockdown of all Orange Beach City buildings. According to Hanley, ALEA locked down its marine office in Orange Beach after a threat was made to an ALEA worker. Out of an abundance of caution, Hanley says Orange Beach City buildings went into lockdown mode too. It's unclear what kind of threat was made or why Still hasn't been charged. A source within the court system
I'm wondering that
tells me
myself.
after Still's recent assault arrest, Still had a competence hearing to review whether he should be admitted to a mental hospital.
Wonder how that went.
motion was dismissed.
Oh yeah, that was dismissed too. Brandon, you were there for the big show. You heard me go nuts and beat up Mr. Franklin, or was it the other way around? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the other way around.
Yeah, definitely sounded like Mr. Franklin, cold cocked you on your way out his door.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, Mr. Franklin's just not a very good fighter.
these little facts. So anyway, I want to put y'all in the Wayback Machine and take you to my original project, which was Backstory Podcast. And I want to say this was it was the hottest day of the year, 2022. And I decided to take my little dog and go show everybody that there's no damn way that Danny Williams went under water in Terry's Cove right here. And 2 days later, they found his body in the same place. That was the first thing that put me onto this thing's a bunch of bullshit. So anyway, I mean, if we're wondering why the city of Orange Beach and Mr. Handley working for the mayor would go out of his way to slander me, right, while I'm incarcerated, I'm going to give y'all a little roadmap to maybe here's why. So, yeah, there's me and Rue out here with my kayak. And this is, a month and a half after Danny's dead. And of course, what I said is Rue's the second greatest detective alive that's working on this thing, because he and I are the only people looking into it, right? The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency didn't do anything. The city of Orange Beach did zero investigation. We deposed 14 people in this case pretty thoroughly. And anyway, nobody knows what happened to Danny Williams. So does everybody know? So I took the deposition of the chief of police. Let me get this straight. Got to go look at my little complaint here. Let's see. When did I take his deposition? Let's see. I filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the woman operating the boat. And let's see here. Looks like it would have been the 1st of April when we deposed Chief Brown. So anyhow, I can't get my little pointer back. There we go. So after the deposition of Chief Brown, guess what happens? He resigns. Then I go to the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency to ask them about this. And I did not make a threat against this man. This is an email. The only response that we got to a duly signed subpoena, right, for this information. And they say, per conversation, Alabama Marine Patrol had a very limited role in the death investigation of Thomas Danny Williams Jr. We assisted in the search today. He went missing with water and air assets. So where's the body cam footage? Where are the reports? We were informed he made it to shore. So investigation was taken over by Orange Beach PD. He didn't make it to shore, nor did anybody look for him. Why?
I've still never wrapped my mind around how this body was supposedly floating out there in shallow water within sight of about 200 beach homes and condos, and in some of the most heavily trafficked traveled waters.
There's 4,000 people out there that day at the
during
island.
Holiday weekend.
Right. And these two guys are Alabama Marine Police. They have on body cameras. Where's the camera footage? So anyway, after the deposition of Chief Brown, the chief leaves the room. Jamie Logan leaves the room. 2 police officers come back in who just stand there. And I'm like, well, I guess they're here to run us out. So we grab all our stuff and we go outside, and we're leaned up against our trucks are parked next to each other. And I don't know if it's the same 2 officers or 2 others, but they pull up on either side of us. And I'm like, let's get the hell out of here. And so I follow him around to my PI's office, who also happened to be the investigator in the, what case did you say brought y'all together? Brittany Wood's case.
Wood.
So anyway, we're heading around to Eric's
Winberg
office.
actually wasn't, just to clarify this, Harry, Winberg wasn't the investigator in Brittany Wood case. He was the investigator over
sex crimes,
the
right.
Donnie Holland case. Yes.
Right.
But he obviously had been speaking to witnesses in the Brittany Wood case. So he has a involvement, I guess, but I just want to clarify that so that nobody says that we're providing incorrect information.
Okay. Well, anyway, we're heading around to his office, and those 2, I'm following my client, and both those police vehicles drop in behind us and convoy all the way to the state park and run us out of town like it's Phoenix City. So anyway, I filed this verified statement of claim, right? So they already had that. I'd already filed a complaint against the city. And then we had the debate where I showed up and handed out my Danny Who t-shirts. So now do you see why they might have gone out of their way to slander me? Because I'm looking into the underlying part of the Danny Williams case that nobody wants to talk about. is the FBI used steroids case as a probe into Orange Beach officials, and that Danny and Mayor Kennon were the best of friends. And a few weeks before he died, he was lamenting the money that the mayor owed him for going to prison for him. Oops. So, yeah.
Well, so just so you know,
After
I'm
nearly
not
2
very
years
well
of what
versed on
looked-
this, but it's interesting what you're telling me now. Is what I will say. I
After-
did not know this information prior to this. So.
After nearly 2 years of what looked like an open and shut investigation of steroids distribution, court records suggest that the case against personal trainer Danny Williams mostly served as a catalyst to investigate suspected corruption in Orange Beach. So guess who the investigator was? Kit Kelly.
Kettrick Kelly.
Kittrick Kelly of the FBI. That's right.
And where does he work now, Harry?
Oh, he's a PI here in Baldwin County. He works almost
Yeah.
exclusively for 68 Ventures.
Yes, Kettrick delivered me my
As
my
does
first cease and desist.
as does Greg Bordencocker, who was the U.S. attorney who prosecuted Danny Williams, gave him 6 months slap on the wrist. And when you go read his indictment, it says cocaine trafficking, you know, all the pills, all this other stuff. And so they give him 6 months for steroids. And the whole thing was just a big misunderstanding. I don't think so. So anyway, every time somebody brings up Danny who, this whole federal investigation comes back to the surface. So why would Harry be so certain that, you know, when Danny Williams died, that there was going to be some big investigation? Well, as fate would have it, yep, I was the attorney for the guy who was the confidential informant for Kit Kelly and the FBI. So I know exactly what kind of evidence they had against who, and why they decided not to use any of it. I'll never know. Or maybe it gets you a chip in the big game down there. What do y'all think?
I think the math ain't mathing here. There's obviously something up.
Okay.
Whether it's
So I got
got
another one. I got another hair raiser for you, Neeli. You ready for this? So after Danny dies, well, Danny's missing, and you know, he supposedly beat up his girlfriend and jumped off the boat and swam for it, right? Except the girlfriend shows up Saturday morning and makes a statement, says he didn't come home. We don't know where he is. They find his body on Sunday. I mean, I used to watch a lot of Columbo, and do you know the first thing that all cops do is they talk to the last person that saw the victim alive, right? So do you know they never talked to Shay Foster again? I wonder why that would be. Well, because she lawyered up with John Beck, and who's John Beck's PI? Kit Kelly. The old FBI agent's down here running interference with our old pal, the chief. That's right. So, is Harry making salacious statements that aren't true, or can we back all this up? You know, there's a deposition where I asked Chief Brown about all this. He gets up and leaves. Have you ever heard of anybody leaving a deposition before and then having police officers come run the guy deposing you to the city limits? I hadn't, and I thought it was outrageous, and I filed a verified statement of claim against the city. And what do? They slander me the first chance they get. Oh, we had to lock the whole damn place down. Really? For what? Well, we don't know. Mr. Steele went to Montgomery, and he was real upset. Well, what was he upset about? He was upset about the fact that somebody at ALEA was not cooperating with the civil subpoena when we're looking into the death of the mayor's former best friend that he supposedly owes a bunch of money to. So, color me a conspiracy theorist.
But when the lockdown happened,
you weren't in Orange Beach that day of the lockdown, correct?
No, hell, I was in Montgomery. Listen, guys.
That's what
I
what
went to
I want viewers
Montgomery.
to understand that.
Okay,
though.
I
Yes,
went
is
to
that-
Montgomery to see a guy named Noel Robertson. And Noel Robertson, it says he is the Assistant Attorney General assigned to the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency to be their general counsel. So I went over there to see him, and they told me that they didn't know who he was. Not that he wasn't there, that they didn't know who he was. So after 30 minutes of who's on first with the dipshits at the front door, I went over to the Attorney General's office where I sat for 45 minutes for somebody to come out and tell me that they didn't know who I was talking about or where he was. So when I get all the way
So
back
again, just to be clear for viewers, because to me, like, that's an interesting fact. The same instance that was used to slander you, where you shut down the city of Orange Beach, you were not actually physically in Orange Beach. It was where you went to Montgomery to
Sorry,
question
Noel
this individual
Barnes was
who
the
does
guy I
not
was going to
exist.
see.
Yeah.
That's the guy I was going to
Noel-
see.
Yeah, who apparently doesn't exist, right?
And then when I
there
get
he is.
home, I get a call from James Rigby of ALEA telling me to email him and call him, and he's going to take care of all my problems, right? How did he know I was home? You think they used the flight camera system to track me? So how did anybody? I mean, what kind of alert went out? And of course, we knew that Tolbert, the former chief of police, was going to take every opportunity he had to slander me. But you know, these guys going out of their way. This Rigby guy, some kind of he identified himself as, you know, a captain. So I mean, obviously something's going on to Leah. I really don't know what it is. Do you guys? It seems that they would turn
Hoss
over.
Mack has been lobbying Tommy Tuberville for his appointment to was it the director of ALEA? I mean, like that. I'll go ahead and put that out there as fact. I mean, I've gotten all the information. I got it from a very credible, unnamed source.
Okay,
but,
well,
you know, it's interesting.
One more clarification, Whitney. The only person who responded at all was this Corporal Kane guy, ALEA Marine Patrol Southern District. Why would I threaten him? He's the only guy that's responded. Do you understand?
Is that who they claim that you threatened?
I didn't make a threat to anybody. That's what I'm trying to say. Was I outraged?
But are they claiming that you did
course.
with him?
No, that's what I'm trying to say. They don't even have anyone that they can say I made a threat against because no one was there. Do you see what I mean? I said the only response we have is from this Corporal Tyler Kane guy. Where is the attorney? Where is your general counsel? Where are the people who are supposed to be responding to the subpoenas? So that's what I'm trying to say.
Because I have the question is that when I don't know when you would have inquired about this, but did someone say a threat that you made? We don't know to who, about what, whatever. Did they say that's what prompted the lockdown, or there's no information in between?
That's
like
what,
you show up in Montgomery. Okay.
That is what Ford Handley told everyone in his press release. Why would he go out of his way to do a press release about me? Because I'm causing all kinds of people down there to have to pound sand. More importantly, let me say this. Battalion Commander Gant, who retired prior to his deposition, I handed him all of these reports, and I'm like, man, why are we sitting here looking at reports trying to figure out who signed this thing? Don't y'all have a report writing software package? And he goes, yeah. Well, I have no idea, man. This looks like this was done in Word or something. Yeah. So everything, boy, if we're talking about looking into something that the mayor's got his fingerprints all over. So guess what the chief of police told me during the deposition? I said, did the mayor try to interject himself into this investigation at all? And he sat there for a minute and he said, you know what? I don't think he ever even asked me about this. That is a lie. If some Yankee from Chicago fell off the damn bridge and drowned, Kennon would have asked him about it. It'd have been in his report. I mean, that's how you know it's a lie, because it just couldn't
and
possibly have happened.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Neely, but don't we also have information? Of course, unless we were there, we cannot verify. But was it Kennon and Hanley on site when Danny was put in the body bag?
Oh, I don't know.
I know that I know that the chief of police shit his pants. I said, "Did you have anything to do?" Nope, didn't have anything to do with the investigation. I showed him a picture. I'm like, "Okay, can you tell me what that's a picture?" "Oh, that's a picture of me standing over Danny's body at the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency substation right here under the bridge. I guess I was there."
And I think it's important to remember that on the day when Danny jumped in the water, leaving his girlfriend in the boat by herself, that evening, the girlfriend, Shay Foster, is seen at a bar drinking with no one other than Mayor Tony Kennon.
10-4.
You would think they would have been concerned even if he did get out of the water, where did he go? And we're supposed to believe he was in the water this whole time?
Yeah, they all run into each other at the wharf that night, Whitney.
Very interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have multiple eyewitness accounts of that?
I had the only one I needed. Somebody I've known for a long time.
Okay. That's if true, I think that it's highly concerning.
Well, hey, the reward's still out there. I still have the motorcycle. It's still dangerous as shit. I'd like to pass this demon on to somebody else to take care of, because I'm compelled to get on it. It just can't sit there. You know what I mean? If it's there, I have to ride it. So somebody please come along and crack the case.
Motorcycle is losing value every day.
That's true. That is very true. So guys, I appreciate y'all letting me walk you through this. When we get done here, and just to be a good sport about it, after the deposition that I had with the chief of police and being unable to get my hands on this information from ALEA, I went and met with Chuck E. Cheese. Did y'all meet Chuck E. Cheese before he moved on? Cliff McCallum. He was the legislative.
I know Cliff,
Yes. Very pleasant gentleman, and he and I have known each other for a long time. There's some colorful language in it that I'll go ahead and apologize to my mother for. But anyway, I think you guys are going to enjoy. And so I go to Cliff and I say, "Hey, Cliff, I need for you to intervene with ALEA because I need this information. And, I have to tread carefully because of all the bullshit that the sheriff's department's put out on me, right? So if you could please help me, I'd really appreciate it." So I take him through the whole thing. This podcast is going to be about 2.5 hours long because my discussion with him is about an hour and a half. So I'll apologize for that already, too. That's why I'm going to stick it on the end. So, Brandon, we need to verify that about the 911 call from inside the Coastal Resources building, because that's the only place I've ever heard that.
I need to physically get a hold of that police report myself, because there is a police report. I've seen reporting on the police report, but yeah, I need a copy, or someone at the Gazette needs to get a copy.
And the only other thing that I will tell you guys, I did do a little bit of preliminary snooping and went to the Secretary of State's website. There are a lot of bios out there that say that Kennon started a particular company, Encore. I can't find
rehabilitation.
I can't find his name on Encore. I can find his name on something called CPT Corporation. That he incorporated
Neeli.
in Bruton in like
What
92.
did I tell you, Whitney? God, Harry. I don't know how many times I have said something to Whitney and she's like, I don't know.
No,
And then
I believe
sure
you about
as
the
hell
CPT
it comes
thing.
up later.
You just get a hold of those records that establish the company, and then I'll give you the full "you told me so." Okay.
There you go.
That'll be the third time I've been able to tell her that in the past 2 weeks. But yes.
Hey, I love telling people I told you so. That's
So did
I do it
she?
to her all the time, all the time. I'll send it to her in a text, and I'll do the little thing where it'll send 100 little things in a swirl over and over,
yeah.
just so it's abundantly clear that I was right.
So something about he founded Forever Young Rehab Services, and that later became Encore Rehab, but I don't know who all was piled in on that thing. But he certainly doesn't own a real estate development company, does he? Or he's not supposed to.
He owns multiple LLCs that
And
transact-
Montana Blind Trust and God knows who knows what. But anyway, like I said, I'm not being paid to look into his business dealings. I just, I'm going to file a lawsuit against the city, and now all of you know why. Not just the city of Bay Minette, the city of Orange Beach. Tony Kennon
And so
and all his
is
little
your
minions.
Is your suit with Orange Beach, is that defamation in nature, basically?
Oh yeah. It's let's see here. Anthony Thomas Kennon, Steve Brown, Jamie Logan, Ford Hanley.
When will that be filed?
Probably gonna file it tomorrow. My document records say that I produced it on the 9th of July. So anyway, if you're going to sue the city, you have to provide them with a verified statement of claim within 6 months under the Alabama Code of Alabama in the 1975 section 114723. I filed that. You then have a year from that date for the city. The city, to answer your question, Neely, for the city, you give it to the city clerk so that the city clerk can give it to the city council and they can appropriate money to try to settle this thing or, settle it through an insurance company or whatever. So again, that is the function of the legislative body. Anyway, I did all that. They've had a year to respond. They haven't responded, so I'm going to file my lawsuit against them.
Well, Harry, I'm just going to throw this out there. Murder Creek Media would love to be the one that gets a hold of that complaint and has the first article on it so that other publications don't. Yeah, so that other publications don't come in and accuse us of stealing things that we've had on our desk for several months.
Hey, y'all are welcome to
saying?
whatever. You're going to have a hard time beating Brandon to the press, though, because he's kind of been riding shotgun.
Well, Brandon, my beef isn't with Brandon's.
Right.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time. And like I said, I apologize to everybody for the length of this thing. But if you want a good baptism in what's going on in Orange Beach, I think this is the podcast for you. So, Brandon, anything else we need to know about Orange Beach?
No, we're just sort of waiting to see how all this shakes out between Kennon and the council.
And
there was obviously a lot of fireworks at the council meeting last night.
So what about
it? Was spicy.
any updates about CC's case? I know she filed like a third amended complaint last week.
It's because they literally just keep walking into it.
They do.
Like, they just keep doing it to themselves.
Okay, well, hopefully, I don't want anything to do with federal court. I'm going to file this thing in state court because I think I have good causes of action here, and I think things will get handled much more quickly than in federal court. Just my humble opinion. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for your time. I will see y'all later.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Farewell.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, okay. All right, so let's go everything one more time so I'll not miss anything. I'm going to contact an investigator, see if he can start helping out. I'm going to call our Marine Division.
I think he just went by on a bicycle.
Who?
Danny.
Okay. Which way is he headed? Home or?
Like, that would be towards my house. He just drove. I think that was him. I went outside and yelled. He didn't turn around, but I swear that was him.
Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start making some phone calls and getting some things going, okay? I know you're upset. I know it's stressful. I know a lot of things went on yesterday, but we're not going to take this lightly. Just to clarify, yesterday we got a phone call, and we're just going to fill in the gaps. Yesterday we got a phone call about somebody jumping overboard. A bunch of police boats come out, the helicopter comes out. You speak with somebody and you say, don't worry about me, go over there, look for him. We show up. I know you don't remember this, but I'm just saying what we dealt with. We showed up, asked if anybody was on the boat, asked if anybody jumped from the boat. You said, no, you're fine, you don't need anything. We said, was anybody else on the boat with you? You said, no, you're good, you didn't need anything. We drove away. We had another officer come check on you because we saw alcohol, was worried about, boating under the influence.
See, and I remember someone saying, were you driving? I remember
Sure.
someone saying, are you driving the boat? And I said, no, I'm not the driver. The driver's the one who got picked up by the boat in the water. He's the driver. And I said, I don't have any keys. I'm not driving the boat. I'm going to get someone to, that guy was there. He's going to tow me to my sister's. I remember saying that.
Okay. So from there, excuse me.
It's okay.
The officer spoke with you, got a little bit more information. The guy that you were next to towed you in?
Right. And then the police officers that were at my sister's house asked
See,
me,
I don't
did
know
need,
anything about those.
Okay, well, those guys were there and they asked me, did I need medical help because the people on land saw me get knocked out by him. And I said, no, I don't need medical help. But that's all I remember. I don't even remember from that point, like getting off the boat and going, I guess because I hit my head, I don't know.
How did you hit your head?
They say he hit me. The people on land say he hit me, and that's how I hit my head.
What were y'all arguing about before all this?
I don't know. I remember my phone.
All right, you're not under arrest for DUI. I'm going to go straight up
I
ask you.
remember him throwing my phone over.
How much did y'all drink yesterday?
I probably had 10, 12 White Claws.
Okay.
I mean, I was drinking.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm not arresting you.
No,
You're not under
and
arrest.
I'm saying, I don't remember.
Was he drinking pretty good too?
No, he really wasn't drinking like me.
But was he drinking
Yes,
liquor or beer or what?
White Claw.
Golly, how do y'all drink those things? Those are gross.
I don't know, but I remember him throwing my phone over, and I
In the water?
Yes.
And her keys.
I don't remember that. I just remember him throwing my phone over, and then I woke up on the ground and kind of like in that hole of the boat, and I was like, can you help me up? And I remember him saying, fucking get up, I ain't helping you up. And I remember that, and then I remember him jumping off the boat. And then that boat came over. I said, don't help me, go help him. And they went over to help him. And I had to throw the anchor out because I'm drifting.
Okay, let's see.
I mean, I don't know.
But then last night she started remembering. I was with her last night
Yeah.
after that. And she
Are
started
you
remembering.
sister, family, friend?
She's a friend that came in from Mobile.
Okay.
So she was at my sister's house waiting on me. Like we were coming back
I
there.
got there right when everything.
Like we were on our way back to my sister's. That's where we were, like right in that area, headed back to my
But no, your
sister's.
sister did say that she saw everything. Like they could see it, and the neighbors had it on camera. Like there's cameras.
What did they see? Was this at a house or on the boat?
It was
From the
they were
house.
From their dock or from their house. They
Okay.
could
So
see
what
it.
did they see?
Her sister said she saw him hit her, and then for about 15 minutes, like circling or whatever.
And then they saw him jump off the boat.
And so they thought she was dead because they didn't see her come back up. You know, they couldn't really tell.
Okay. All right. Do you have your ID with you
So
as well?
my sister thinks that he because Danny's been in trouble in the past and been in prison. Okay, so my
We're
sister.
familiar with him.
Yeah. So my sister
I
thinks
didn't know
that. My sister thinks that maybe he's hiding out because he thinks I'm going to put him in jail. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know his brother Tony?
Yes.
I just got off the phone with him too.
So, yeah, he called and accused me of, like, letting him drown. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what are you talking about? I told the boat to go pick him up. I'm like...
Is your address correct on here, Sable Ridge?
Yes.
But I don't remember him hitting me. I just remember being on the ground, you know?
Mm-hmm. What's a good telephone number for you?
251-525-3734.
But my sister thinks that he's, like, hiding out because he don't want to go back to jail, like I'm going to put him in jail or something. And all those police were there yesterday, and that's what she thinks. But it's not like him
No.
not to be...
We're worried about him getting back.
His vehicle or
So
something, you know.
whose house was this that the camera seen him jump off?
I don't know.
Dana, her sister.
I don't know any of that.
Yeah, her sister just said yesterday that my neighbors have cameras. I
So
remember her
Dana's
telling-
neighbors.
Yeah, that's what she told me. You remember her saying that?
No,
I do.
I don't
When
remember
we
any
were
of
in-
that.
Yeah, we were in the pool yesterday.
I don't remember any of that.
She said my neighbors have cameras everywhere.
And what is your sister's name?
Dana Day.
And where do they live?
27213 Cove.
Cove Drive?
And see, there were a couple police officers there when the boat got pulled back over there. Yeah, because they were worried about me because they saw me get knocked out, is what they said, and wanted to know that I needed medical help. I don't even remember any of that. I don't.
What's a good contact number for Dana?
752-4974.
How do you remember these numbers?
I don't remember numbers either.
No, we got spoiled by phones. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get some paperwork started on this. I'm going to process the report and go ahead and put it on NCIC, which means if any officers have contact with him, notify us. We'll notify you. Well, I'm also going to notify the Marine Division, just to be on the safe side, make sure they're checking the beaches or anything like that, and let them look into any information they may have obtained yesterday. As far as what you think you just seen, was he going towards Terry Cove?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're heading home right now? You live in Terry Cove, right? Head home. When you get there, call me no matter what.
Okay.
Call me to let me know he's there. Call me to let me know he's not there.
Okay.
I'll go. I think I already gave you your driver's license
Yeah,
back.
but I don't have your number.
Okay. It just called up here, the
Okay.
Orange Beach Police Department. Call me either way. Okay. If you call and tell me he's good, then if we need to continue to follow up with this, then we will. If not, then we'll be done with it, saying that he was found. He just whatever. Okay.
Put that number in your phone.
251 981 9777. And like I said, call us no matter what. Okay? I want to help you find him, but we need to make sure we go about things the right way, okay?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I'll talk to you in about 15 minutes.
Thank you.
Not a problem. And I'm going to hold off on this for 15 minutes, so I have to hear from you before I can go forward with this. Okay?
Today is Friday, May 16th. It is 10:25, and I'm about to walk in to meet with Cliff McCallum, who is the legislative aide to the Baldwin County Legislative Delegation, former newspaper man from up in... Which one of these you reckon is public Wi-Fi?
The one that says public Wi-Fi.
It does say public
wireless.
Wi-Fi.
Generally tends to
public
be
Wi-Fi. There we go.
We expect anybody else?
I'm gonna get my my client on the phone. That's cool. Okay, there we go. So I thought we'd do a little primer. I'd kind of get you caught up and then get him on the phone. Maybe get him out. Okay. So I'm just gonna show you a little PowerPoint presentation. Okay. And why we need your help. Okay, so here's our complaint. And this is this is what I claim happened, right, as part of our, okay, so there's the lady who owns the boat, and that's her sister. And her sister was married to Ricky Day. And Ricky Day was a party boy. Ricky Day, it's funny. So I'm going over this case with my kitchen cabinet, so to speak, one afternoon. Mm-hmm. And Paul could just give a fuck about anything going on in my world, all right?
Well, because if it's not for
him, it's all right. You understand. So anyway, I'm sitting there, and it's like me and Brandon and Dr. Bill and whoever, and I'm going through this stuff, and he goes, "Wait a minute, did you say Dana Day?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "The house there at Boggy Point?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "I helped Ricky Day build that house. In that house, there's a picture like this hanging on the wall of Ricky Day and Paul Rip barefoot skiing in the fucking Mekong Delta behind a PT boat."
Of course there is.
Of course there is. Right? So the reason Rip doesn't hang out with them is that they're a bunch of cokeheads. And back in Birmingham, Rip's brother got in trouble running around with Ricky Day, who is the heir to the Day coal fortune. Yeah, $100 million. So of course, Paul stayed friends with him throughout his life, but never really hung, right? So so here's the story. She's the trophy bride party girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ricky dies in Colorado. They built this big house, and of course, Paul's been there. And everything Ricky Day has is like, if there was a TV filled that whole wall, he would have to have it. If the biggest and best boat, that's everything he's got. It's the biggest and best. Okay. So anyway, small world kind of stuff, right? Okay. So her best friend is a big, tall.
Now, what is her name?
Dana Day.
Dana Day.
Yes. Okay. So here's the boat, and here's the post that the city of Orange Beach put out saying, hey, if you saw anything, if you saw this boat, not Danny Williams is missing and we can't find him. All right. So anyway, that's what's in the paper at the time. Here's more stuff.
Oh, Mullen probably put that together.
Right. So we're investigating social media posts, if we're looking for anyone. Okay. So they announced that at 1:30 p.m. on May 29th, they find the body of Danny Williams, or they found him at 10 a.m. or whatever. And so anyway, that's the official, and of course that's old Danny.
He looks familiar to me.
And so all this happened. So here's Art Farr's house at Boggy Point. Here's Boggy Point, and you come on around. So Dana's house is right down here, and you can see the fancy boat, and then you can see how big Art's house is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a damn landmark. So anyhow, they leave. Can I borrow your pen?
Yeah.
So they leave. They're right here on the beach, and I'll show you a picture that Danny's captured in the background of by the lady that does the dolphin tours. And they actually came on her boat and talked to her, and I've got her deposition. So anyway, they leave, and I'll show you the picture where they're coming across here, and then they appear to stop and talk to a boat here. And then the next time we see them, she's blowing back this way because this Boggy Point camera is looking here, and that's looking here, and that's looking here, and that's looking here. So we got to come back around, and we catch her blowing across here, and then we see all the first responder boats hauling ass through here. Well, then there's a and so anyway, that was my guesstimation of about where all this stuff happened.
Okay.
And so if you're looking from here, it's obscuring, or if it happened on this side of the pier, then there's no way that anything the eyewitnesses are saying can possibly be true.
Okay.
Anyway, I have to touch something up here. So anyhow, just to give you an example of so if we're on this side, there ain't no way they could have seen any of this going on.
Right.
So anyway, just some more pictures from the police file. So I can't remember. Yeah. So there we see her being towed by her guardian angel dude that showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, this is kind of weird. This is information that we got off Danny's cell phone showing where all he was. And, I don't know how reliable that is, but we got what we got. So anyway, this is the house of Chris Washington. Okay. So this is what
Chris Washington.
Okay. So you're going to love this.
I feel like I need some red string.
You really do. It's so bad. So Chris Washington went to prison for manslaughter. He killed the chairman of the beach in 2014.
Who's the chairman of the beach?
He's the guy that everybody knew down there that had the franchise to put all the beach chairs out. So anyway, he kills the chairman of the beach. He writes a suicide note for him. He drags his corpse all over their apartment. And then he puts his grandfather's Luger he took off a German under his arm. Like, we're not going to figure out whose gun that is. And so the cops, so anyway.
I would watch this show.
Okay, so I'm deposing the chief of police.
Yeah.
He's the first of 7 depositions we have set for 3 Thursdays ago. So I had all these questions. How did you get the job? Did you have, did you know about the corruption down here? Do you know about the drugs? Do you know Danny Williams was a drug dealer? Do you know? Anyway, he claims not to know any of this, and I hand him all these, reports from the U.S. DOJ where all the mayor and everybody went to prison.
Russo and
yeah,
Larry
all that
Sullivan,
stuff.
all
And I was like, so what were you doing when Russo was stealing everything? Well, I was a lieutenant over investigations. So then that leads into Chris Washington. I was like, okay, well, do you know, y'all have an intelligence unit? Yes. Do you have flock cameras? Yes. Do you have Clearview AI? Yes. Do you have life clear? Yes. Did you try to employ any of them in this case? Well, no, it was an accident. Accidental drowning. And I said, okay, well, who's Chris Washington? And he goes, yeah, well, we know who he is. Does your intelligence unit keep up with him? Well, I don't know about him specifically. Do you have access to the master name index through the county? Aren't you one of the chair people of the major crimes unit thing? Yeah. How do you not know who Chris Washington is? So anyway, I'll report to you that he killed the beach chairman, and the reason he got manslaughter instead of murder is somebody screwed up the chain of custody on the gun, and it was excluded from evidence. And so when 6 weeks after Danny Williams is dead, and you find out he's dating the woman operating the boat, and that he lived. So listen, he gets out of fucking prison. Guess where this house is? Let's see.
Hold on one second. Like it's down there near where Margaret Long lives. Down there by Tacky Jacks?
Let me just Google her this song. No, listen, it's walking distance. So if he left in his boat and wanted to dump Danny Williams' body, yeah, that would have been no problem. If Danny Williams actually made out of the water and made it his house. Okay, so here's the Favre house. Here's Dana's house. Here's the camera that we have the perspective from. Okay, so here's Chris Washington's house, the murderer. He starts dating Shay Foster, and so to get from his place, you go here, and right through the channel there. So anyway, we don't know where he was, if he was anywhere near, but anyway, 6 months after, or 6 weeks after Danny dies, she starts dating him. And guess what? He looks just like Danny. He's like a shorter version of Danny.
He got a type.
And he's also a murderer, so, she's like these bad.
It's like when my ex-girlfriend married my doppelganger.
So anyway, and then here's the Boggy Point camera. And I did my best to try to figure out where she was. And of course, she's blowing across here, right? And so anyway, she ends up blowing. So we see her with Max here at that particular time. But yeah, that's just so nobody would know if they hacked my shit. It was like party punching. That's what the name of the whole file.
That has been a pain in my ass for years. That's another story.
Okay, so anyhow, let's keep going here. So I asked him who he is. And so anyway, their attorney says, I just don't see where this is going. And Gottlieb starts going into, well, Mr. Steele thinks that the mayor interjected himself into this thing, and he's got this crazy conspiracy theory that the mayor somehow helped cover all this up. And I can tell you that we're going to stop these depositions if he keeps on this track. And I said, well, hold on, let me just wrap it all up. So I said, well, so Chief, let me ask you this. You said you were the head of investigations for 15 years. Are you the one that marked Furman the gun? And they get up and leave.
You did not say Mark Furman.
I sure as fuck did, and I meant it. And he knew exactly what I meant too. Okay, so here's the deal. Me and my client walk outside, and two black and white show up, one on either side of us. And I was like, shit, surely they're not here for us. And he goes, man, I don't know. He said, I don't want to get beat to death.
So wait, who is your client?
Tony Kennon. Did underground, whatever, directional boring for fiber optics, and could repair them and splice them and all that. So anyway, the other Yabar brother, you probably know, Chris Yabar. He owns the Cove. He owns Cotton.
Oh, yeah.
So anyhow, let's keep going here. So that's where Tony lives, and he's got a boat house and a boat, and he's been over there several times. So anyhow,
it's pretty much like a straight shot over there.
Yeah, well, you gotta go. You'd have to go around to get up here. Anyhow, so let's keep going on my little PowerPoint here. So we got Chris Washington's house. So anyway, then so I said, well, was Danny a drug? Weren't Danny and the mayor friends? What Danny a drug dealer? I don't know. Danny was a drug dealer. Okay, can you read that into the record? So this is what Danny was charged with, right?
Damn, Danny.
Right, conspiracy to distribute.
No, wait. The only thing he didn't have, mail fraud. Where's the mail fraud?
It is money laundering.
There's no mail fraud.
Is there not mail fraud?
There's always mail fraud.
Yeah, I don't get it. Okay, so anyway, he received 12 months for the conspiracy to distribute steroids. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I call up this guy. So guess what he does now?
Oh, you've told me about this guy.
Yeah.
Because he works with Nathan Cox now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Guess who else works with Nathan Cox now?
Really? What does he do for Nathan?
So Greg's son works at his PI firm as his hacker and electronic specialist. And so guess who else? Guess who he was working for this night? John Beck.
Oh, the defense attorney.
Yes. So in our deposition, I said, so I can't understand why after Danny's body was discovered, you never got re-interviewed. Did you talk to any police officers or did you talk to an attorney? And she said, oh yeah, I hired John Beck. And I'm just like, and I said, really? When? And Gottlieb goes, object in the form of a question. Do not answer that. And he looked at me like, you motherfucker. So anyway, here's all the story. So check it out. So this is just the lanyard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, FBI used steroid case as pro of Orange Beach. Looking at the open steroids case, person ran Moseley of Catalyst to investigate suspected corruption. So when you go back and you look at all the wiretap requests and warrants, guess who they're all for? Sure shit ain't for Danny Williams, but he's the one that goes down. So anyway, this is where they say, it says, led by Kettrick Kelly, right? And prosecuted by Gordon Cocker. So then it goes on to talk about, wasn't aware Kennon had done anything illegal, but was also willing to.
But also testified he never sold drugs, Kennon never saw him use drugs, and never saw him commit any other crime.
Except he was just tough and punched 3 or 4 people out at different bars for him over the years. So anyhow, conviction and sentencing, Greg's and associates, Danny and Macy. Okay, so before Danny Williams dies, my ex-girlfriend, you're gonna like this one. Let's see.
Harry, you don't ever bring me anything that's like straight.
So guess what this is? That's a picture of her flying back from Mar-a-Lago. So what do you think the people at Mar-a-Lago would say if I told them that she walked an FBI informant into my office who tried to get me to take $20,000 and bribe the municipal judge in Orange Beach?
Bracken?
Yeah.
Or Callahan?
Bracken. So she walks into my office with her new boyfriend who can't button his shirt. He had to have his sleeves rolled up because they wouldn't button at the cuff. And he has to pee 40 times. And he goes, look, what did he tell me? Bullshit. He said, I got a DUI in Orange Beach. He said, I walked into a fucking casino with a concealed weapon in Vegas and didn't know. And he said, they charged me with a felony and I failed to appear. And I really don't want to take some hot ass van ride. So can you take this 20 grand and make this go away? Just give it to Bracken. And I was like, well, Bob's gone to lunch and Scotty Lewis works right behind us. That fucking, he'll do it. I said, but you can get the fuck out of my office. And Macy, don't ever bring anybody.
And Dave,
right?
And Dave Simon
so I go,
shot with a 10-foot pole.
Okay. so anyway.
I like Dave.
Okay. Well, Dave played the friend thing way more than you think he did. So anyway, I think the people at Mar-a-Lago would be shocked to know that she walked an FBI informant into my office.
They would usually not like.
Okay, so let's back up. So about 2 months later, Stephanie comes in my office. She goes, the Hulk's here. I was like, what? She's like, the dude that came with Macy, he's back. And I was like, well, I don't want to fucking talk to him. So anyway, she comes back in and she's like, he won't have it. He's got to talk to you. And I was like, well, you're coming in here. And he says, she's got to leave. And I'm like,
I'd have done hit my recorder. And okay, so anyway, he tells me that he got caught selling drugs to the DEA. And that everything was fine. He was cooperating with them and telling them everything he knew. But then this guy named Danny Williams came up and Mayor Kennon's involved and they handed him off to this FBI agent that's going to get him fucking killed. He wants me to be his failsafe. So we do this John Le Carre shit that I read in the novel. We set up a Yahoo account where we both have the password and we just leave each other draft messages, you know? And so anyway, about a year later, I'm sitting there and he gave me an envelope, like, if we don't have contact, you know, if I miss the thing or whatever.
Then you open
and I'm sitting there going, man, it's been a while. So I log in or whatever. Oh, fuck. So I open the envelope. There's a couple phone numbers. So I text and call and all that, nothing. So that's Thursday. I don't sleep. Friday night, I don't sleep. Saturday night, I finally go to sleep. Sunday morning, like 3 o'clock in the morning, he calls me. Jack, and he goes, you don't have to worry about me, son. He said, all these FBIs are wearing my fucking underoos. He's like, I'm that hero. He's like, we got video of 10 empty duffel bags of code. The mayor the chief of police putting money in the trunk of my car. Video. He's like, you just got to keep your fucking mouth. You can't ever tell anybody any of this shit. I feel sorry for you. You got to sit on it. So what do you think when I read the landing out and it says, Danny Williams gets 6 months for fucking steroids? And I'm like, what? And then Gordon Cocker, who knows nothing about anything but prosecuting people, gets the big job with a stake in the game in Orange Beach for 16. Anyway, that's all speculative. All I know is what actually happened and who went to work where. But anyway, it all starts with this one here.
As most problems in life
generally. As most problems in life generally spring from. So anyhow, they're all at the so when you're at the Floribama for the Molotovs, you walk out to Floribama and there's ropes.
Yeah.
And you walk in between the ropes, and there's somebody sitting there and it kind of turns to the right.
Yeah.
And there's somebody sitting there and you give them your thing and they give you the little whatever, and you go up and you get your mullet and you throw it, they take a picture of it, and you walk back out, right?
Yeah, I've covered it like 2 or 3 times.
Okay, so as you make the curve between the rope and where you stand to throw and the beach is all the meatheads.
Mm-hmm.
And their little bimbo girlfriends like Macy with their fake boobs and waist that big around, right? Yep, and they stand there all day. So guess who's standing there all day long at Molotovs? Danny, Greg, all that group. So anyway, they're standing there, and here comes the mayor and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And they stop at the table, and they're like, from here to the wall, right? Hey, everyone's like, hey, Tony, whatever. Never says a word, never looks up. I don't know if he was in a fight with his wife, or you never know what's going on.
He can be able to stand off.
Yeah, but this is Danny Williams. And all his pals that he works out with all the time. You know, there's like cameras around, so we got to be Tony Kennon. So anyway, he goes up there, he and his wife up there a mullet, and they walk right back past everybody. Never says a word, never looks at him or anything. And somebody's like, what the fuck was that all about?
Yeah, because this is the South, yeah.
And of course, he goes, well, you know, I went to prison for the guy. And he's supposed to give me $2 million when I get out. And instead, he gives me a job teaching fucking booty boot camp at the goddamn wellness center. And so, yeah, he kind of lost my fucking phone number. So anyway, the fact that he gets run over a couple months later just seems incidental to most. Shortly after Danny's death, Shay began dating Chris Washington, who's on Marie Red, program 2014 manslaughter conviction of Kenneth Gary Myers Jr., the beach chairman. And Danny Day, let's see, what else I have here. The depositions. So here's what Brian Jeff Massey says. On May 31st, 2022, about 4:15 p.m., Brian Jeffrey Massey came to Orange Beach Police Department to give his statement. Jeffrey was driving the boat east, having just shown his friends the view of the water of his land, lot 73 on the Harbor Road described. Massey saw what he thought was a person in the water about 200 yards ahead of him, east of his location. Massey increased speed until he saw he was about 30 feet and then slowed. As he got closer, the head popped up out of the water, and Kip McAllister and Massey yelled something to the effect of, "Are you okay?" The head went back underwater. Massey stated that at no point did he see the body come out of the water past the jawline. The About 2 minutes later, Massey called 911. The first officer on the scene arrived in a boat with a rubber inner tube around it, and then a smaller center console police boat arrived. McAllister saw a pontoon boat in the area. Massey saw a blue center console boat behind him that was about 27 to 29 feet long, operated by a sole occupant, male with white dark hair. Massey remembered that he first approached the person in the water. The face was towards him because he could see what looked like goggles on him. So that's very important. Okay. I think the most important thing that anybody says, and it's repeated over and over again, we saw this guy in the water. He didn't appear to be swimming at all, and he looked like he had swim goggles on. Per our conversation, so here's another reason that I need you. Per our conversation, and this is back to Rob Gottlieb's law firm, right? And this is from Taylor Kane at ALEA. Per our conversation, ALEA Marine Patrol had a very limited role in the death investigation of Danny Williams Jr. We assisted in the search on the day he went missing with water and air assets. We're informed that he had made it to shore, so the investigation was taken over by Orange Beach. Once the body was found, I did attend the autopsy to verify that he was not struck by a vessel. It was confirmed that he drowned, according to the medical examiner. So I deposed the medical examiner and I said, how did you make a preliminary determination that he drowned, not having his toxicology and all this other stuff? And he said, well, that was based on what the investigator told me, that there was no reason. Now, the family met with the police chief. The family went with Demir's, and they said, this is a murder investigation until we prove otherwise, and we're going to turn over every stone. But then their guy says, oh, no, this is an accidental drowning. So anyway, apparently there's a whole bunch of stuff, like the report this guy did when he went to the autopsy. So he's not listed on the fucking autopsy report. They're supposed to list everybody that attends, and of course the totally incompetent medical examiner that we have. We'll show you some other stuff.
I've heard that from people not.
Okay. Well, anyway, this is Corporal Tyler Kane, and that's who I need for you to contact because look, we're looking at all this shit from this angle, right? Looking from the pier back to Art Favre's house, and you can't see around the corner, and it's a panoramic camera, and it's terrible over at that corner. It's just so stretched, and you can't really see anything. If I had a goddamn helicopter view, like, I can't imagine they didn't see Danny Williams' body floating in the water because there's great visibility, and I'm going to show you.
You need the video.
I need the video, and I need their reports. And them saying we don't have anything is just a bunch of bullshit. Okay, so check this out. This is their little report log, and it says call came in and advised the Glass House to talk to officers. And anyway, and it just goes on to say, when they called it, they went down to the house, Dana Day's house at 2713 Cove Drive. So anyway, here's how I see it. The first Marine boat comes around. They pass her, the girl in the boat that Danny came off the boat, however he came off the boat. There's a second boat that comes by. They see her floating. They go up to her and she goes, oh, don't help me. Go help him. I think my boyfriend's in the water or whatever. So they keep going. They call the second unit and say, hey, we think this woman's been drinking or whatever. So they pull up about the time Max gets there, the guy that's going to give her a tow. She doesn't say my boyfriend hit me. She denies anybody was on the boat at all. Okay. Then she starts trying to establish an alibi with Max, and she claims that they've been together all day. And when I deposed him, I said, why would she say that? And he goes, hell if I know. So then when I deposed her, she didn't remember anything because Danny had knocked her out. And she woke up on the bottom of the boat just time to see him jump off.
What in the Natalie Wood, Christopher Walken bullshit?
Uh-huh.
I stopped to help her, and I was about to pull her over there.
There's no swimmer. I don't know what's going on.
We had a swimmer in distress call. That was the problem. There was somebody that was in a little bit of trouble.
He's taking me home to my sister's house. That's what we're doing.
I got you. All right, just hang on a second. I'll be right back with you.
Where's the first one down?
Just hang on where you at. Where? Rodney, need Rodney.
Please, Coast Guard Roger, are you currently
Percher.
with us right now? Negative, not at this time. One Beach, PD, Coast Guard Roger, please stand by channel 16, Coast Guard 6, mobile.
Of course, that's not. I got it. It's going through there. Just hang on, we're good. Hey man, what was I'm Hey, can you hear me?
46.
Hey, when y'all pulled up over here, did you see her driving the vessel? What?
Go ahead, command.
Okay. Yeah, you can tell she's a little you know what. This guy.
So Shay called and said she wanted to leave. So this is Dana Day's statement, right? The sister, the $100 million heiress. Oh, and guess, so you're going to love this. So Scott Mansell, the coach down there, guess who he starts fucking? Shay. But then he finds out Shay's sister's got $100 million. So he pulls the little sister switcheroo, and Shay comes over to her house and causes $10,000 worth of fucking vandalism, throwing rocks through plate glass windows.
I'm not mad at Schaefer though.
Okay. And then they got married. Yeah, they're married. On Friday, May 27th, Shay called and wanted to leave her boat here. Shay wanted to leave her boat here for the weekend. I told her, okay. At 3:25, I received a text saying they were on their way. And I told her we were in the pool. We saw them coming around by Art Favre's house, and Danny was driving the boat, and the wind was blowing hard. Danny made a pass out in front of our house. That did not happen. And but not in the channel, out in the middle. And he circled back and forth, maybe 10 minutes. And we thought at first they were having trouble docking. Then we got concerned because we didn't see Shay anywhere. I called her to find out what they were doing, and she didn't answer. Finally, we saw her pop up from the back of the boat, and a minute later, Danny jumps off the boat and starts swimming. So then we get out of the pool and go to the dock and realize the boat was floating, and I didn't see Shay. Helicopter was flying around, and police were on the way. So we got in our Jeep, and we're going down to the boat launch, but fire trucks were at Art's house. So we went there, located the boat. The gentleman that rescued her from floating away towed her back to the house. Danny threw the boat keys in the water, so she had no way to crank the boat. So when she gets to the dock, the first thing her sister says is, we saw him hit you. Because they think they're going to find Danny's dead body just any minute, and she's going to be charged with murder.
Right.
Okay. So when they get over there, the first thing the sister says is, we saw him hit you. And she goes, oh, no, I'm fine. She's like, y'all are freaking me the fuck out. What are y'all doing here? And they said, we're looking for Danny Williams. And she said, well, he got on the center console boat and went that way. Are you okay, though? So she gets out and her sister hugs her. Thanks for coming out, guys. She's fine. Thank you. She's good. Y'all can go now. So then when they find his body on Sunday, everybody comes in Monday and they got to write these reports, right? From memory. So everybody puts in their report that there was a domestic violence. There was a call about domestic violence on the boat. Well, guess where that came from? When Dana Day went down to Art Favre's house and gets to the fireman, Battalion Commander Gant, this is in charge of this guy fucking, she starts telling the story to him about the domestic violence they saw while sitting in their pool from 300 yards away in Art Favre's house. And there's no way they saw it. Okay. Orange Beach Police dispatched a call for a male subject jumping off a boat in the water near Boggy Point. That's not true. Mm-hmm. The call came from Mr. Massey. He was on a boat. They pulled up and saw him go under, right? We read his statement. Yes. And I called 911. But the box. Okay. So he sits there at the end of Art Favre's pier, cuts his motor off, and is floating, thinking that the body's floating with him if he's moving. Okay. He sits there for 20 fucking minutes on the phone with 911. No one ever comes and finds him. No one ever talks to him until an ALEA, your guy, pulls up and tells him, we found him walking on land. Y'all are free to go. That's the only contact the man who called 911 had with anybody in law enforcement.
Found him walking on land.
That's what the ALEA guy told Mr. Massey, the guy who called 911. And when he goes, listen, man, he's right under your boat. He's right there. And they go, no, he's on shore. We're gone. We're out of here. So let's get to the next one. Here we go. I don't even know who these people are. These are questions that I had for the police. You know, who the hell are these people?
Capcom.
Gregory White, John Burnside, and myself, and 159 is out at Cove Drive. So I guess that's just
Computer aided dispatch system.
Yeah. So that's what they're just putting into the dispatch stuff. So check this out.
I guarantee you he asked out, man.
He did what?
I guarantee you he asked out, man.
Oh. So this is the lady who runs the Dolphin Cruise boat, one of those big Corinthian.
Oh, I think I've
pontoon
met
boats,
her.
Bowers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's her and her husband. We deposed her. And that's Danny Williams.
Right there in the
the
back.
last known photograph. Okay. So here's the Boggy Point camera looking. So you remember I said she was in one of those boats?
Mm-hmm.
Check this out. There's her boat, and there's the fancy boat. 3:27, they leave, and they're coming back through the Boggy Point boat ramps right here. You're looking at. So then they make it past the boat ramp, and when the camera comes back, they appear to be stopped next to what I'm calling the toucan boat.
Okay.
It's got all these different colors on it. So then we see them moving away from the toucan boat. So 15. So like I said, the camera has to go all the way back around, and we catch her again with Nathan pulling up to her. So Nathan Banks pulls up to her, and she says, I'm fine, go help him, and points towards Forest Pier.
Mm-hmm.
And so his story is that he goes straight over there. Massey's coming the other way. He waves, he hollers at Massey, yeah, there's somebody in the water. Massey cuts his engines. Anyway, Nathan's story's bullshit because you can watch him back up and do circles and all this kind of shit. Anyway, he did his best he could. So then, okay, so here's the thing that nobody caught but me. So this is what I did last night at midnight. You'll love this. Who the fuck is this guy?
Unmarked.
No, it's got something on it. Okay, so anyway, that's just a timeline. But you can see all the police boats that are out here.
So you're saying who, that guy?
No, who is that? See, the cops walk over here and they're talking to whoever this is in the car. So anyway,
looks like a
government.
Yeah, or
don't worry, I got a better one.
Okay.
So anyway, this is the dude that pulls up and pulls her over, right? And this is where they say, hey, did somebody come over here? No, we've been together all day. Okay, so then this is a same shot from the same time, and you can see how far away the farmhouse is, right? They've blown all the way back over almost to the island. And so then there's another shot where you can see him actually has her under tow at almost 4:20, and look at all the damn police boats.
Mm-hmm.
So then here she is on the panoramic camera getting towed in. And I mean, she's perfectly fine. And I don't know what she's doing. She's tucking something under the bimini is why I took that picture. So who the hell are these guys? Because they're ALEA, Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, all day long.
That's Marine Patrol, it looks like.
Yes, it is. And this guy's got on dungarees, little shorts or whatever. So part of our conversation, yeah.
Well, you know who works down there in Marine Patrol.
So then, who the fuck is this? And who is this? I mean, there's all these civilians around that are unidentified.
Hang on, go back.
That's the $100 million girl.
But no, he looks familiar.
That guy?
No,
this guy?
Yeah.
He runs some kind of charter boat outfit. Spoke with Miss Hubbard. She was standing on a boat. They were coming out of the cove. Mr. Massey said, "Hey, are you okay?" Mr. Massey called 911. This is Jody Massey's statement, and this is the important part. A few minutes went by, and one of the police or Coast Guard boats told us they found him walking on the bank. This is when we left. So, again, yeah, and here's a real good shot of one of your ALEA boats that was definitely. I can't even tell.
Wait, I've been on that boat.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. So anyway, here's the other thing. There's an inexplicable boat. So this is fancy, and this is max when they're just getting blown, and they get blown all the way over here before the cops come see them. But this is the first police boat to come by here, and they blow right past them, and this guy is on plane too, and he's right behind the police boat. So who the hell's that?
You can't enhance.
Nope. And then you see the third police boat, and then I can't even remember why I took that picture. Was it because of the no? Oh, and so here's all of the calls for
swimmer in distress.
Yeah, and there's not a kid that's missing in Terry's Cove. The only one is the Sean White officer responding to Bobby, and then.
So you want the video and the reports.
I want to know who the hell these guys are. I want their reports.
You know who you can ask?
No, I don't.
Jesse Peacock works for the Marine Division.
Does he?
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't have to ask. They should give me.
Oh, I know, but I mean, like, if you're really in a bind, I'm sure Jesse would help.
That's true. So anyway.
But I mean, like, I can make the request through ALEA, but I doubt they're going to play ball with me because, Fiddler pissed them off talking about navigational markers in their care.
Let's see.
So, have you tried to submit anything?
Yeah, we've subpoenaed it. State trooper. No, state trooper.
That's Marine Division.
Yeah,
no, wait, that's
Orange
OB.
OB. And this is the friend that she's supposedly coming to pick up. Dana. What's his name? I don't know. Danny Williams. William. Who knows? He's a regular
at the police station.
I don't know. All I know is Danny Williams. Danny Williams? Hello. William? He jumped off y'all white.
Yeah, that's Max getting towed in. That's the friend. So you want to hear the shit about this? Her mother is my mother's cleaning lady.
Really?
No, it gets better. So my mother had a mastectomy, and this woman took her to the fucking doctor. Took her to the doctor and all this stuff above and beyond.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been a better person in the whole world. And her daughter is involved in this shit. Cocaine, all that.
Baby, they want me to go inside and make sure Danny
Do we have information for Danny Williams?
Okay, so look, they're sitting in the pool over here, and can you see our first boathouse even from here? No, because this boat's in the stall. So anyway, this Matt guy, I went and talked to him, the kind of dumpy guy. That boat has $400,000 worth of electronics, and he said, "Hey, I can go take that boat off the list. Got size scan and all in 5 minutes."
Oh, yeah, he's a regular at the police station.
Of them in the system.
All right, let's watch this.
So I'm trying to ID them so we have them on file.
That's your husband.
All I know is Danny
Not your
Williams.
boyfriend.
How old is he?
Maybe William? Hello.
No, his body cam.
William?
I think it's Lanford.
He jumped off y'all right before our
Where is he?
house.
Where does he live? Where's his address?
I don't know.
They didn't start here.
Okay, so look at how drunk she is. I want you to watch the cat-like reflexes of this woman. Because you and I couldn't pull this off.
And this is.
Except for me and my boyfriend.
Oh, she just held the boat off. She kind of looks like if Natasha Richardson did adult film. What? Watch it. Oh.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Oh, watch that. Watch the boat. Just give yourself a little push over here. That's what we're trying to find out.
What the hell's going
And
on?
then well, I don't know, but we saw Danny get you from the pool.
I know, it's okay.
Oh, he's still hooked up. We got it.
And then you.
To ensure that I'm not in control of the boat, it was anchored. You saw it blowing across.
I know. I was anchored. I wasn't floating. I was anchored. And the Coast Guard came out and I was anchored. No one was floating.
And Danny Williams, the MMA fighter, supposedly just knocked her out. That's the story she's going to
Yeah,
tell.
she definitely looks like she just.
And if you went down in that boat with all those chairs,
Shay, because Danny's
elbows,
missing. Danny jumped off your boat.
There's no way there'd be some
knocked
sort of
out, and your boat was
confusion.
right. And this guy was nice. He got on somebody else's boat. No, he didn't. We watched him swim. We watched the whole thing. Danny is missing. Danny jumped off your boat. You jumped off the boat. And your boat was flipped. And this guy was like, he got on somebody else's boat. Somebody jumped off the boat in stress, and nothing. He didn't know where to be found.
And that's why we just want to
see
figure out what's
that
going on.
little chick right there? Not a blemish on it. No. She got kind of a beer gut on. Need to work on
In
that.
the water, get on
But like, yeah, there would
You know
be
whose
some
boat he
sort of
got on?
sign of
Can you describe it?
complication.
Her whole butt cheek's hanging out. There's nothing wrong with it.
Like, I don't understand how you could claim domestic violence.
Sorry, I'm you know, tonight.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Who the fuck is this guy that's back there into the boat? Does anybody look for the keys?
That's old Fred. You know old Fred.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Look.
That's what it sounds like. I appreciate you. We just want to make sure he's
Watch her get out of the boat.
Can you describe to us? We just want to make sure he's all right.
Because I don't know boats. And I
Was it?
You're right about that. All right, so let's confirm that.
don't know boats.
You know what color it was?
White.
White. Okay. Big, small.
It's like not as big as Dana's.
Not this one, but bigger than fancy. Somewhere in
Uh-huh.
between.
Oh yeah, it's a lot bigger than fancy. He is fine.
I get paid to worry about
White? Yeah.
Okay. Big, small,
It's like not as big as Dana's.
not this one, but bigger than fancy, somewhere in between.
Oh yeah, it's a lot bigger than fancy. It's a lot bigger than fancy.
Here's the one chance, fancy.
To check because we lost sight of the boat. So I walked out here to check, and the boat was on there, and I looked over here to see if I could see him swimming still, and I never saw him.
Okay.
I've never seen
Yeah, like I said, I would have thought he'd make it.
There's the code.
That's what it sounds like.
We lost sight of this boat. And so I don't know, and I walked out here because we lost sight of the boat. So I walked out here to check, and the boat was on there, and I looked up
See how clear this water is?
Hang out. She hang out here with y'all.
He's all up now.
That's right. Is she cool to hang out here with y'all?
Take care of him.
Okay.
Yes. Michael's probably gonna take her, but I don't know.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
I don't know. We watched him voluntarily jump off. We watched his foot fall out, and we watched him swim.
I didn't know it was here, so I thought, well, I'll go check. And I never saw him. I saw him keep going out there.
All right. Well,
I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
see you.
Are we good?
I want to make sure it's all right right now.
have a, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like I said, we watched them voluntarily jump off. We watched his head pop up and we watched him swim.
All right, fellas, you ready? I never saw him. I saw a bunch of people. All right, well.
How are you? I love it.
All right, Phil, you ready?
I can't imagine why.
I wouldn't even need a hunting camp if I'm a man. I just get tired of
Although,
So he got on the boat, huh?
That's what we're thinking.
Steve McMillan about tossed us cookies when we were out there. I've never seen him with that particular shade of green.
What?
But
I can't imagine why.
On 64 North Beach, 1041. She'll be out
He got on the boat, huh? That's what we're thinking.
Oh, I forgot there's a concert.
Oh,
that's how you do it.
But she on that boat.
He's clearing up sand from around the marine. On 64 North Beach, 1041. She'll be out at concert.
Oh, I forgot it's a concert.
Guess not. Yeah, fix that.
Leave it to Danny Williams to make it a clusterfuck call, huh? Oops.
Now look, we got all these electronics active.
Wait, what did he say?
Uh-huh. You heard it right. Oops. Leave it to Danny Williams to make it a clusterfuck call.
Yeah, I want to know how he got over here so fast. Yeah. I remember one time this PI swam away from me and right into Sergeant Kircher. I remember that right there next to Zeke's. Yeah. Through jellyfish and everything. Yeah, I remember that. And so got into the jail and he said, looked at me and said, "Fuck you." I was like,
Yeah.
"What?"
I didn't even do anything.
Oh wow, this is nice. They got money. Well, they don't look wet. Hey, how's it going, y'all? Going good. You guys okay?
Yeah, we're good. We just saw it happen.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You don't know where he went?
He swam that way, and we never saw him.
Okay. So he's still probably out there.
Somebody said he was on land.
Yeah, somebody said he was here.
They said he was here, but now I ain't checked the house yet. We just pulled back.
Y'all know him?
Yes, her boyfriend. Shay's boyfriend. That's her sister.
Oh, okay.
Where's our patient at?
We don't know yet.
You don't know?
Well, it's got to be.
He done RU in OST?
Did they ID? Did they get his full name from you yet and try to ID him?
Danny Williams.
Danny Williams?
Oh, yeah.
146. Have you got the name Danny Williams yet?
Yeah, we just sitting in the pool.
that was that blue boat?
Yep. And see, and like I said, it looked like he hit her, and then he jumped. Oh, he volunteered.
146, did you copy?
Baby, they want me to go inside next to them.
Do we have information for Danny Williams?
10-4, that's going to be our subject that we're looking for the moment.
Okay, well, we have two. It's still on.
I'll send you over there.
Well, no, we were just
10-4,
talking
10-12.
back. Me and
How-
Matt, we were just sitting there. I said, "There's my sister, but it looks like they can't get in."
What's his real first name?
I don't know. Danny Williams is all I know.
How old?
They should know it.
Oh yeah, he's a regular at the
Well, we got
race.
two of them in the system right now, so I'm trying to ID them so we have them on file.
I don't know.
You
All
don't
I
know?
know is Danny Williams.
How old is he?
Maybe William? Hello. I think it's William.
No.
He jumped off y'all right before our
Where does he
house.
live? Where's his address?
I don't know.
They didn't start here.
Oh, it didn't start here?
They haven't. Nobody's
Well, he
been at my
said
house.
supposed to. Yeah, they're supposed to be here. Oh, they witnessed it.
Yeah, nobody's been here except for me and my boyfriend.
I don't have my. No, I don't. But you can just send it to me.
Oh, dude, I ain't gonna lie, I forgot to send your number.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
We were sitting there talking to Matt.
Copy.
251 680 7759. Yes, sir.
Yeah, those ones are tough. We hate letting the birds sit on deck, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just burning fuel, doing nothing. So it's hard to.
It's hard to make that judgment call that quick.
Yeah.
It looked like he needed to go, though. Y'all did the right thing on that one, I think.
Yeah. He was looking like couldn't keep space together.
I know, it's okay.
The camera's on our dock to shoot. 180 degrees on the end out there.
I gotcha.
We'll check them later if
Well, the thing is he's not found yet, and he was last seen in the water.
Yeah.
We don't want another incident that we had last.
I know. I was anchored. I wasn't floating. I was anchored. And the Coast Guard came out. I was anchored.
Is that his girlfriend or wife or whatever?
That's
okay.
her sister.
Okay.
His sister.
I don't know.
Shay, because Danny is missing. Danny jumped off your boat. You were knocked out, and your boat was floating. And this guy was nice.
He got on somebody else's boat.
No, he didn't. We watched him swim. We watched the whole thing. He jumped off the boat. We watched him. And people called the police because they saw somebody jump off the boat in distress, and he's nowhere to be found.
That's what we're doing. We just want to figure out what's going on.
Don't be mean to me. I saw him in the water get on somebody's
You got on somebody's boat? You know what the boat looked like? You know what it looked like?
But he got on a boat.
Yeah, he's took off.
Yeah.
Shay, but you're not hurt anymore? Are you good? Because we can let all these guys go.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Oh, I love you.
I guess they'll call later when he doesn't come home. And they're like, we can't find him.
Yeah.
Well, you guys told us that he jumped on a little bit, so. Got that on camera. They're saying that she saw him on another boat, but so if she calls later and says, well, we can't find him, or he's not here, then.
Yeah, he's not here.
Well, our issue is somebody says he's not on a boat, somebody says he is on a boat. We got to go, you know.
Well, like I said, we're sitting in the pool. I watched him jump in. I thought he ain't never gonna make that swim.
That's what I was saying. I was like, that's a haul.
Yes, in the current.
In the current?
Yeah,
In the current, I said, he ain't gonna make that swim. And I kept on looking over this way to see if I saw him come, and I never saw it. So either he got on the boat, or I missed it.
I don't believe he got on the boat. Look, our house is blocking our view. We only saw what we could see from the pool area this way. So.
What was the 911? What the caller say? That she saw somebody jump in and go down and not come.
No, we saw him splash up and swim. We witnessed.
Were y'all with the callers?
No. We watched him swim, but now I couldn't we lost sight from this boat. And so I don't know. And I walked out here to check because we lost sight of the boat. So I walked out here to check, and the boat was on there. And I looked over here to see if I could see him swimming still, and I never saw him. Okay. So, like I said, I wouldn't have thought he'd made it to land. I would have thought somebody had to pick him up by boat. That's
what it sounds like.
Tough swim.
Yeah.
Very much so.
10-4 report of drugs and intoxicated subjects behind Phoenix 29576 Perdido Beach Boulevard. 295.
Is that me call or you call?
That's us call.
Call reference to a group of 3 adults and 2 children close to the water.
Hey, this one right here.
Marijuana heavily drinking.
It's all grown up.
Smoking marijuana and heavily drinking near the water. Watch out.
It's going to be 3 black subjects. One wearing a pink bathing suit with red hair.
If you would just walk a few miles that way, it's legal.
I haven't. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like I said, we watched them voluntarily jump off. We watched.
Unless you need us, I mean, I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're not gonna. We can't find them. I mean, hell.
I never see him here.
You do find him. He wants an ambulance.
Give you a call. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all the gang. All right. Appreciate y'all.
I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Y'all be good. Thank you so much. Thank y'all for everything.
No problem. Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
You got a nice place here. Dear God, this place is.
Dude, right? It'll make you rethink your life choices, won't it?
Yeah.
What did we do? Gotta figure something out, okay? Really, I went wrong.
I'm just gonna keep trying for the lottery and hope it works out.
I know somebody I can contact to try to get them, but I mean, if a subpoena hasn't gotten you anything.
Well, I mean, that's this is when so my next stop is the judge.
Okay, so my suggestion first would be try to talk to Jesse Peacock and see if he can ID those 2 guys.
Yeah, but I don't want to have to go after these 2 guys. I want ALEA to respond to my subpoena.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes here you gotta do what you gotta do, son. You know how.
Yeah. Okay, so real quick.
Okay. What am I looking at?
You look at where it happened, what county, how the person died, the person's name, the date they died.
Where was your guy from up in Monroe County? The journalist.
He's not on there. Nor is the police chief in that little town. But this is the Peyton Little 2016 hung himself with a seatbelt. Joel Henderson is at Rick Gilmore's hunting camp and gets killed with a fucking flare gun to the chest.
You told me about that.
Buddy Skipper, you know who he is, riding around his own hunting property, died. His car catches on fire and blows up with him in it. Then Joe Gilchrist, his best friend, is found with a dead from a drug overdose in the parking lot of the Wharf parking lot. Danny Williams dies 2 days later. Then David Steele, who stole $20 million from under the nose of the probate court in Monroe County and started the fucking Monroe County Sausage Company, blows his brains out and makes himself the only person accountable for all that money being missing. And then 2 days later, Wesley Dozier stabs himself to death 23 times. This is just ancillary because this is drugs and this is drugs and this is drugs. They fall outside of my 2 for 2.
You don't want to fall into a post hoc ergo propter.
Right. So anyway, Scott Myrick, do you know who Scott is?
I know the Myricks. Which Myricks is it, Ken?
No, none of those. So Scott Myrick and his wife moved down here from where the hell ever, and I'm hoping they're gluten free. Moved down here from wherever, and he got off drugs, and they started this Christian ministry stuff and everything. So anyway, the intelligence unit for the Orange Beach Police Department is in the Wharf.
Yeah.
And there's also a space in there
that the OCDF, the Organized Crime Drug Interdiction Task Force, uses for counterintelligence purposes. Like say, I'm going undercover for a week.
Mhm.
I drive down there to the wharf. I park my personal vehicle and I take a, Acme Bug Company is what the tag comes back as, right? It's an undercover government vehicle. So anyway, the number 2 realtor at Remax is found dead in that parking deck between 2 federal drug interdiction vehicles. And nobody says a fucking thing. So here's the other thing. This great big compound that Art Favre owns, that all this shit happened in front of, none of his fucking cameras worked that day. And guess who his head of security is? Chief Biddy. You gotta be kidding. So anyway, this thing stinks to high heaven, and all of these deaths are suspect.
Wait, Jim Biddy?
I guess that's his name.
Yeah.
He's the former chief.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's far. Oh, and the other amazing thing, and I've got the text message. So Kennon calls my client and says, I can't come to the funeral, and you know why. So then the other richest person in the whole fucking world that lives down there, John McInnes, happens to be standing on the top of Phoenix, whatever it is, on the bay or whatever they call it. And he sees all this happen. And 3 days after all of it, he calls Tony Ybarra and says, Tony, I saw all this shit happen. I'm going to send you a pin on Google Maps, exactly where I saw it happen and all this shit, right? Just like stellar alibis for how Danny Williams met his fate here. Okay, so here's the other bullshit thing. So I go depose the medical examiner. I say, okay, so you know how when you put a cold beer or a hot beer in the refrigerator, it takes like 7 hours to get cold, or you can put it in icy water and it's cold in 7 minutes. That's the only thing I
take a wet paper towel and put it in the freezer.
There you go. Heat capacity. That's what I'm talking about. So had all these brilliant questions about heat capacity and whether or not they, so anyway, when your body's in the water, diatoms get in the water in your eyes and they masturbate and reproduce. And it's kind of like maggots. You can tell how long somebody's been in the water. Based on the diatom. So I had all these brilliant questions, right? So I'm like, okay, so Danny Williams goes missing on Friday. I contend that she brained him in the fucking head, and there he floated in the water until these people saw him sink, right? She's claiming that he beat her up and jumped off the boat and swam for it, and for lack of a better reason, he just got a big mouthful of water and drowned. Oh no, there's no water in his lungs. And you're saying that all of these contusions and stuff are post-mortem. He got run over by a boat after he died. So let me ask you, Mr. Medical Examiner, when did he die? What was the time of death? I don't know. They didn't take a liver temp when they found his body because it was an accident.
That's fucked up.
Okay, so we don't even know when we could, and so I asked Brian Pierce about it. I said, Brian, what the fuck? And he goes, well, man, we looked at all of it, and we just I didn't see any bruising, which would indicate that it happened. But I was like, dude, people cut their fucking wrists in the bathtub so it won't clot. Are you shitting me? And also, crabs and little fish, they eat all the goo. You ever had a sore and get in the water, the little pinfish eat all the fucking scab off of it for you? Okay, this is bullshit. Y'all don't know anything. I've done more investigating than these poor people having to pay me money to do it.
Was the family able to do like a separate autopsy or anything?
No, shit, no. Why? It was inconclusive. I mean, there's no way to go back and determine when the cause of the time of death was.
Yeah, no, it's so weird.
Okay, so I'm deposing the chief of police. The other thing that comes up is he said, you had nothing to do with the investigation. He said, no, I sure didn't. So I showed him, like, can you tell me what this is a picture of? Oh, it's me standing over Danny Williams' corpse at the fucking Marine police. I said, well, what were you doing there? If you had nothing to do with it. He said, oh, I thought I might need to identify the body. I said, shit, how did you know who it was?
Because you said you did. Well done.
Yeah, this is all just like so anyway.
Who's the judge?
Bishop. So they tried to quash the body cameras and stuff. And Bishop, he didn't hold a hearing. He just said, yeah, you got to get. to now Rob, the attorney on the other side, wants special instructions for me not to ask any questions that are untoward about the damn Orange Beach Police Department. Gottlieb. Anyhow, I want to call Mr. Ybarra because I've wasted enough of your time.
No,
Give me
you're
1
fine.
second.
I'm just trying to think of the best way to accomplish this.
Yeah, that's him. I'll just grab him. I'll just grab him.
Yeah, we might as well grab him.
So he don't sink down. Yeah. Just a little bit closer, boss.
Hey, the fire department's coming.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Don't know. All right. Appreciate it. You good? Hey, let's see if we can block a little bit on the north side. Well, that's a, yeah.
We'll get them to block from over there, but. Good.
Floated awfully quick.
Huh?
Floated awfully quick. Is that a fire department or a lifeguard? We don't. Oh, it looks like. Hey, we got a bag on here?
No. That's the reason I'm waiting on the fire department. We ain't got a bag.
Three, if we can try to keep some of them vessels back, if they try to come in. Maybe the jets won't roll them under. Joe to get that damn tiki boat out of here. There's the stake. Why are they even flying over here? Am I going that damn way?
We'll help.
Why are they freaking circling, man? Shoot us a little closer. Really, dude? Looked like it might have had a prop mark.
Yeah. Definitely loaded something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, somebody go out to get in the water. We can get us a little closer. Yeah, I know. That's what I was trying to get.
Oh, yeah, maybe not for just a drive for one more thing.
get him in that bag before they get him on the boat. See if they need any freaking help.
That's time for you to apologize.
Who's that?
No, he's like, sorry, I wasn't trying to step on your toes. I don't have time to talk to you right now.
Damn, do I need to get over there? Jesus. Oh,
Hunter.
Put me on the bow.
Put us over there close.
All right. Get him up in there. All right, gonna go around this pole. Which end you want to go?
We got this end right up here against on this starboard side.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. All right, let me hop back on. All right. Yes, sir.
Going to AMP. Hey, y'all want to pull in our slip? Probably easier. We'll park at the top. All right.
Where are you going?
rides high on a promise he sold, but his truth's been bought and his soul's been told. He don't walk alone down that courthouse hall, got shadows that move when he makes a call, a whisper here, a favor there, and suddenly justice ain't nowhere. You can hear it humming underneath the street where power and silence meet. Oh, the machine don't bleed, don't cry, don't care. It feeds on fear and the deals they share, pulling every string in the dead of night, turning wrong to right, turning black to white. If you stand in the way, you'll disappear clean. Ain't no fighting back when you face their machine. Got henchmen lying like dominoes in a row. They don't ask why, they just go where he goes. A nod from the top and a life gets crushed. Another voice buried, another file hushed. They wear the loyalty like a second skin, trading their conscience just to fit in. Break a man down, call it law and order, build their empire at the county border. Every favor owed is a chain that binds, every truth buried buys more time. Oh, the district attorney signs with a steady hand, but the ink's been stained by a deeper plan. Senators smile from the polished stage while they trade your life for another page. County seats filled with familiar names, all tied together in a quiet game. Handshakes tighter than a noose can be, wrapped in power and immunity. And the victims cry, but no one hears. The truth gets lost in a flood of years, dragged through the mud till they break a bend, till the story twists and the lies all win. They'll take your name, they'll take your breath, dress it up nice and call it justice served to death. It's not one man, it's a web they weave, 1,000 hands that deceive, and every thread leads back again to the same old circle of friends. Oh, the machine don't bleed, don't cry, don't care. It feeds on fear and the deals they share, pulling every string in the dead of night, turning wrong to right, turning black to white. And if you speak too loud, if you're seen too clean, they'll grind you down in that cold machine. So the badge still shines in the morning light, and the town sleeps easy every night. But beneath it all, where the truth's unseen, there's a whole damn world run by that machine.
You better let go of my. I'll fucking kill this motherfucker. Back! Get off my dog! Get the fuck off me! Get the
Hey, that's fucking enough. That's enough.
I'm gonna kill that fucking dog, hey? And I'm gonna kill you.